should have more of a chance. This is hilarious. Roberto says, Max said he liked it, but he moved on because he needs to play a variety of games. Oh, yeah. He needs to play a variety of games. The guy who's rolling in money, has sponsorships out the ass, literally gets every game early, paid sponsorships. He couldn't just play it every once in a while. He needs to keep playing a variety of games. Butthole Defense Force in full action here. We got to protect those butts of people who we really like online and justify you. Good Lord. By the way, just for the record, I just want you to know, Haruto, Maximilian is not going to come to your house and give you a blowjob because you're kissing his butt. That's not happening, okay? Just thought you should know that. You can stop cupping his balls now. He's a grown man. He took a paycheck. It's fine. There's actually nothing wrong with it. But the fact that you defend it is ridiculous. Anyway. Stop the Max hate. I didn't hate on Max. Boy, I all these tips. Oh, Jesus. When did I hate on Maximilian? I literally said, Maximilian do whatever he wants. If he wants to take a paid sponsorship, he can do that. He has the right to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I literally said that. And then I said, people who really like that game would probably still be playing it. How many people who took the paid sponsorship are still playing it today? And as soon as I said that, people get butthurt, right? Oh, no. Oh. Just because I tell it like it is, I'm real, right? People don't like that. Oh, God. God forbid that people tell it like it is about other content creators. Sorry, it's time for you to stop being a sheep. It's time for you to remove the blindfold from your eyes and realize that this is how it is. People who do those kind of sponsorships are doing it because they're getting paid. That's okay. Just accept it. Stop believing the nonsense that everything they do and say is true. Stop believing they actually like this shit. They're doing it to get a paycheck. That's why they're paid for it. That's why it says hashtag fucking ad. They're legally required to disclose that. How do you not get that? I mean, well, no, well, Max, he loved... Okay, if Max loved the game, he'd be playing it constantly. If Max loved the game, he'd be very, very upset that it's being shut down. Okay? Maybe he is. And if that's the case, then it probably is evidence that he actually liked it. I don't know. I don't fucking watch Max. Why would I care? You know, what are you talking about? I'm not hating on him. Grow up. Again, the Ball Defense Force. Oh, you named someone? Here comes the human shield against the testicles. We must form the net and shield, everyone. Curl your arms and legs together. Protect the content creator's nutsack. Do it now. Oh, yes. Grow up. Grow up. Wise up. Grow up. Thanks. Yikes. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna respond to Expand Dong because I want to clarify something. He says, "Would you respect Max more if he came out publicly? He said, I'm a shill. I'm happy to be a shill. Enjoy my content, but I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
Don't feel any different. I don't need you to.
I'm a big shill sellout. No, he doesn't have to do that. He does. Every time he puts hashtag ad, he's already done that. I'm literally telling you, Maximilian Dude has never done anything wrong in this regard. At all. He's making business decisions for his own business and his own livelihood. The problem is people who are defending his nutsack. Oh, no, he really loved the game, and you... No. Hashtag ad, dude. Hashtag fucking ad. The amount that someone likes a game is directly proportionate to the amount of times that they played the game and weren't paid to play it. Period. It's okay that he took... I don't care. I'm not saying a negative thing about Maximilian or anyone who took that promotion for Rumbleverse. The problem is the nutsack defenders who are so dumb and ignorant and gullible that they don't understand what a fucking ad campaign is. That's the problem with modern gamers and modern viewers. They don't get that. How do you not understand that what you're watching is fake? I'm not a look. It says hashtag fucking ad on it. I see what you're saying with Max. It makes sense with the sponsorship considering he makes money off of it, which is smart. There you go. And that's fine. And, you know, that I 100% tell you, anyone who wants to take a sponsorship or a partnership, good on them. Make the bag. Good for you. I'm not like that, and you guys know that, and I have the right to be different, for better or worse, and I have the right to give you my opinion. I'm not going to do that stuff. But for you to say shit like, oh no, they really liked it. Oh, by the way, every time they played it, hashtag ad. Stop being ignorant. Okay.
And there you go, another salty, jealous rant from DSP. We've had so many this year, I'm excited to see more, and it's only been a month into the year. Oh, what a year we have in store. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Hope you guys liked it. Click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe. And as always, I love each and every one of you. I hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. What is up, my Derricks? I am here today with a special opportunity for you. Are you angry, sad, or laughing at a streamer with a 14?
One of the big questions many had after the failed G4 revival was why would corporate owner Comcast even attempt such a thing in the first place? Well, thanks to a new exclusive in-depth interview Culturescape conducted with Indiana Froskurin Black herself, we may have an answer to that. And if accurate, it's a real doozy. In this editorial then, I will begin with detailing why bringing back G4 was a futile endeavor in the first place, before going through Frosk's frankly shocking take on why it was done, and finally a brief recap of the rant and its fallout, from Frosk's point of view. Many like to claim that Frosk single-handedly killed the G4 revival, but that's an oversimplification. Frosk's rant was in fact partially successful in that it did put the G4 revival on the radar of quite a few potential viewers. But where the G4 executives thought the exposure would increase viewership, they found that everyone who learned G4 was back ended up rooting for it to go away again. That kind of brand detraction may have sped up the demise, but only by a matter of weeks. In another world where Frosk's planned New Year's rant wasn't the attack on the audience that we got, but instead a rant about Rockstar's mishandling of Red Dead Redemption, which she claimed was her original plan, then all that would have happened was that G4 continued on in obscurity, completely under most people's radar, right up until corporate decided to pull the plug and write off the loss, which probably wouldn't have happened any later than December of 2022 at the latest. Because the simple fact of the matter is that the G4 revival was doomed to fail from day one. I submit that with or without Frosk's rant, corporate owner Comcast would have pulled the plug on G4 by now anyway, because there was no reason to carry on burning more piles of money on it into 2023. The only thing about this whole ordeal I have never been able to wrap my head around is why the hell would anyone of reasonably sound mind even attempt a G4 revival in the first place? G4 had its day, and that day was before the platforms that passionate fans and would-be content creators used to broadcast themselves now had sprung into existence. When they emerged, G4 was outcompeted by its own audience who did what they did, only better. That's why G4 went away the first time, and there's even less demand for a corporate product like that now. So it's a mystery to me why anyone would even attempt to bring it back in this day and age. Well, Froskurin just may have revealed the reason why. It is important to note that this tell-all interview is her side of the story. It is the narrative that she wants to put out there, and the interviewer serves her softball questions only, so keep that in mind. We are hearing, quote-unquote, her truth here. Others involved may have different recollections of events. That said, the one interaction here that stands out to me more so than anything else has to do with why G4 was revived in the first place. This interaction is actually begun by interviewer Peter Pitchke, who brought up common internet rumors for why Tucker Roberts, the executive who spearheaded the G4 revival, and who just so happens to be the son of one of the Comcast head honchos, was so intent on doing that. According to the interviewer, these rumors claimed that Tucker's motivation was that he either dated or wanted to date Olivia Munn, and presumably thought bringing G4 back would be helpful to this end. This is where you'd expect Frosk to instantly squash such a rumor, because Olivia Munn doesn't exist to be pretty on the eyes for you, Tucker Roberts, or anyone else. But instead, she said, and I quote, "The one I heard." And remember, Frosk isn't some random gamer browsing the interwebs. She was there, in the building, working there full time, and what she heard then was he dated Olivia Munn, and they wanted to bring back G4, and then in the breakup, it got messy and he kept the project. Or maybe the project at that point was like, the ball had already started rolling, and he was like the finance behind it. So, you know, who gets to keep the dog? So, in other and slightly extrapolated words, the version of events that Frosk had heard was that a Comcast executive, who's the son of a Comcast head honcho, used to date Olivia Munn, and Olivia Munn presumably must have told her beau that she really, really wanted G4 to come back so she could return to that gig. Then her beau, the Comcast executive, must have gone to his dad, the Comcast head honcho, and said, "Dad, I want to bring back G4 for my girlfriend." Or more likely, he left that part out, and simply said he wanted to bring back G4. I imagine the dad was probably about to chew his spoiled brat out something fierce, when it occurred to him that it could have been so much worse. So instead, he said, "Okay, son, this is your shot. Be your own man. Make this work. Make your mother and me proud. And make me some money." And then, when everything already was in motion, the relationship with Munn ends, and Tucker is left managing the revival of a network that is now so far along that it can't be stopped, even if the only reason he brought it back in the first place just walked out on him. That sounds more plausible than I would like it to, because if anyone had actually put any thought into it, G4 would never have been brought back.
What? He's on my fantasy football team.
3 melty cheeses, 2 crunchy shells. A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in the Naples area. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over
When did
by
you do
International
that?
Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Everything else Frosk had to say about the running of G4, the mismanagement, the lack of planning
Where?
and coordination, that their usual analytics guys didn't understand or know what to do with YouTube analytics. All of this derived from G4 being brought back without any real plan or strategy in place, which obviously there wasn't.
Nice. I'm proud of
Without
you.
that, everyone involved are just doing the job they've been assigned to, winging it as best as they can, while deep inside knowing that this isn't working. Coming from the world of banking, finance, and fintech, I can believe this. In the past, I have myself been involved in 1 or 2 huge multi-million-dollar development projects where everyone involved kind of knew something wasn't working due to spotty decision-making at the very beginning. That is, everyone except upper management, who for whatever reason ignored all the red flags and staff warnings, until the problems were so bad that the only option was to write off everything and at the very least prevent
I doubt
any
that
further
story is
losses.
real.
Though, to be fair to the upper managements I served under, they always had better justifications for their spotty decision-making than that the son of the boss had a fling with Olivia Munn. Though I guess in a company like Comcast, stuff like that can happen. To me, this was the big reveal. Outside of that, Frost spent the interview more or less maintaining how everything that happened was everyone else's fault. On the topic of her rant, Frost said it was mostly written by her and approved by the immediate executives, which we have heard and reported before, though we emphasized that it was not approved by any of the Comcast higher-ups. She also said she wrote the rant with their live audience of approximately 2,000 in mind, but it wasn't her idea to clip and repost it, which was when her rant went viral far beyond G4's limited audience. She also justified her more out-there statements in that rant, like accusing G4's audience of considering it normal to brag about who they looked at while jacking off, by essentially saying that she saw at least a couple of users do that in some comment section or other, and probably in jest, although she might not have gotten that. But at any rate, she maintained that when the clip went viral beyond G4's very limited live audience, this was out of context. Here is where I would interject that you shouldn't even rant to an audience of 2,000, or hell, 200 for that matter, about what a couple of guys allegedly did, because you're still tacitly holding everyone else accountable. Even the interviewer is perplexed about what G4 thought would happen, pushing for that clip of Frost attacking the audience to go viral, yet he somehow doesn't direct that question to the person who actually wrote and performed the rant. Either way, Frost is clear it was everyone else's fault, and she didn't get enough support. For those interested in further details on this and her full statements in context, full interview is linked in the description. With that, do you think impressing Olivia Munn really was the reason why G4 was brought back? Or could there be more to it? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments.
Who's acting?
Don't worry, we're almost there. You'll be able to look around once we're on board. Sounds like you do.
He didn't even, can't you put original Dead Space and Dead Space remake up on top? Could you at least do that, Phil? Could you spare a little bit more effort, Phil?
A lot of catching up to do.
Are you going to say this is a Detractors channel, Phil, when it's yours?
Really cool intro because already it's different with the dialogue. I didn't have to more
What's that chunk of rock?
Deep space mining is a lucrative business, Ms. Daniels. Each of 7 is a gold mine according to prospectors.
Kind of like the original actor. Forgot the dude's name there. Kind of like the original actor. But
Oh, he looks exactly the same, but she looks very different.
Cocaine now. There she is. We have visual contact.
So that's Ishimura. Impressive.
The USG Ishimura. Biggest planet cracker in her class.
The lens flare.
Gravity tethers engaged. Automatic docking procedures a go.
Oh, I see. We were saying these planes. Oh, shit.
yeah, it's definitely his old footage. Because you hear him talking. It's going okay, man. It's going okay.
Oh!
Yeah, Digital Foundry film. Yeah, even on modern hardware, Jocko and Johnson. I just wish they made it when you... And I know there's ways externally through, NVIDIA software an AMD soft, right? I just wish they made it so you could just cap it at 60, but because when you put it VSync on, it caps it at 30, but it is what it is. Yeah, what an amazing, well-done video.
Oh, no! Don't you all apply this thing, you stupid asshole? Damn it. Switch to manual, now.
Inside the magnetic field, we would see a ball.
Wait, does he literally just show the intro and this is...
I know! Drinking that bottle of Goldschlager before we docked was a bad idea.
Oh god, even his old jokes. His old jokes are back. Dude, IKEA Agent 0007, I don't understand. If he just literally just shows the intro, I'm gonna fucking die laughing.
Look at that, putting on a Selma for the first time. Sweet.
Damn it.
So, wow, it looks so good, right? The graphics are quite good. And I really like seeing Isaac.
Alright, cool. Computer, let's look up Gangnam Style. What have you got?
And if you really wanted to be fair and balanced, you should have recorded both the footage of games in 4K. The original Dead Space could run natively in 4K if you played on PC. But we're talking about Phil, he's fucking dead. So, literally, this video I bet you was downvoted into an oblivion. He literally just made algorithm fodder. Which, it isn't clickbait technically, but it kind of sort of is. Yeah, 162 downvotes. I mean, look, I know he has dedicated trolls too, but this is kind of justified. This is an awful, awful comparison.
I always do that whenever I get to a computer.
Yes, what footage is before being first, the other is after, yes.
Taking a lot of damage.
The transistors offline, getting around is going to be difficult.
Oh, shit.
What the hell was that?
Automatic quarantine must have tripped infiltration.
It's here.
Everybody relax.
You're all dead.
You hear that?
Not sure. The hell?
Look
Damn.
at this. Oh! Fatality.
God, his commentary is almost kind of completely the same.
Oh, crap. Not good. How do I run? I don't know how to run. They haven't explained it yet. Oh, I'm pressing the thumbstick. I didn't click the thumbstick. Okay. You didn't tell me how to do it.
Run, Isaac. Get the hell out of there.
Elevator, please.
Oh, Phil.
Ah! They didn't explain it. It's like, oh boy. Ouch. Shit. And action pack starts. Good lighting, by the way. I really like the lighting. Lighting is a big
Alrighty
thing
then.
here, isn't it?
Just another day in the office for the orchid man.
I remember I was stupid and from blistered thumbs I did an awful Crysis 2 PC versus 360 comparison. Did no like wipes, no side by sides, and everyone was complaining and I had no idea why. I was like Phil back then. How bad Digital Foundry, I don't know. Was young. I was like in fucking my late 20s. I was 2011. Math.
Stop.
41 now, so yeah, I was like 30, 21.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Derek, yes, no problem. I don't know what we're gonna do about future games. Like right now, here's this. I was like, oh, there's not much going on. I'll do some downtime playthroughs or whatever.
You're right.
Well, I believe for a second that this guy's dead.
I mean, Phil literally did a better job here than I did with that video, but it's not saying much.
Fuck you.
He's quite a handsome fellow.
Oh my god, you worked. Is it seriously working? It worked. I basically stun locked him and he couldn't move.
Pretty whack. Yeah. So he doesn't even have an ending to it either. That's insane. Oh, Phil. Oh, God. I mean, okay, it's different content. It got more views than his normal videos do, but... Oh, my God. AV Gods. Is that old Archfiend? What the hell are you recommending that to me before? For, not for. It's weird to go through because I know part of it's like the algorithm knowing what I watch. I remember buying Truxton used for the Sega Genesis from what fucking store was it? Some like old used. I bought it second hand. I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. Yeah, no more Phil for now. What time is it? 2:16. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a evening, and I'm gonna play more Forspoken because I need to play more of it. The video to expect the I and Neo Geek video next week. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow too, but expect that. Expect the I and Neo Geek. And expect the DK Oldies video. I couldn't think straight for a second. Those will be big next week. And I'll stream for a good amount tomorrow. If there's news, I'll talk about it, but the chances of that are slim to none. Have a great night, and I will smack my own ass on stream soon. And we'll do some more Reverend Pop-Off.
What is going on, everybody? It is episode 295 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Thank you for sending cool and chill vibes. We need a cool and chill show today.
What?
And we have the perfect guests for a show just like that. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes, we are having a great show today. My name is Kellen, and I am also here with...
I am High Energy Serge Dupria, aka Serge.com. Nice to see you guys. I still have a sinus infection, so my voice is going to be weird. So I can't really do good ASMR, but I'll try.
Are we going to whisper the whole show?
No, we are not. Speaking of Serge has an announcement to make, does he not?
Yes, I do. Last time there was a bit of confusion about me and shaving my head and everything. Because it was kind of like, it was an idea we were tossing around. If we get 10 of the party, what do they call it?
Crisis parties.
Crisis parties. If we get 10 crisis parties on the pod today, I will shave my head, like big bald. I've done it before. I don't mind doing it. It'd be a nice change. It'll probably let my scalp heal up.
And will you be doing that live?
I don't know if I should do it.
Or a separate video, or...
Yeah, it'll definitely be content. It's definitely content.
It's all definitely
I think we should make a video that's like one of those early 2000s skate videos, but it's just a montage of you buzzing your head. Just get some awesome baller music, get some weird clips from old cartoons that are in there just randomly, you know the vibe.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I just want to abide by what everyone else wants me to do, because I have no internal direction. I just do what everyone else tells me.
You're just happy to be here, man. And also, if anyone else has wagers they're willing to take for the same amount, 10 crisis parties, say it now or forever hold your peace.
Yep.
Mine is that I will watch all of the Harry Potter movies.
Whoa.
But you've never seen them?
I haven't seen them. I wasn't allowed to see them. So if we get to 10 crisis parties, I will be watching the Harry Potter series.
In the chat, they are gaslighting me. They're saying Happy Friday. Brett, as usual.
Well, answer the poll, guys.
Yes. So I put a poll up there, guys. I asked you what's your favorite day of the week. Is it Friday or is it Saturday? I have a sneaking suspicion that the answer for most people is actually Friday. Kellen disagreed with me.
Yeah.
But there is an
Saturday.
objectively correct answer, and
Why?
it's Friday.
Why?
Look, you're already getting aggressive. Friday night is just so much better than Saturday night, because on Saturday night you have Sunday scaries already.
No, true.
Friday night is the lowest stakes night of the weekend.
It's just better. It's just,
Because you've got everything ahead of you.
But I refuse to let like 6 hours define a whole day. And Saturday, you've got more good, and maybe the like tail end of Saturday is a little bit wonky. But when it comes to Friday, you only get a tail end of joy. Like you still have to work and go through the nonsense.
No,
of
it's
the day.
it's the anticipation and excitement that you feel about the weekend throughout the day on Friday.
Absolutely.
And everything feels lighter. Even Thursday feels lighter because
No.
you're looking forward to Friday, for me at least.
So that's how you feel today?
Yeah.
Well, good, guys. We are going to see Knock at the Cabin tonight, so that review will be up tomorrow on timcast.com. There is also a review for Velma that just went up today at 1 p.m. If you want to see me look more dejected than I've ever, wait until this episode is over, and then go check that out if you want to see absolutely dejected Brett.
That was the second
break.
to last installment of our Velma Season 1 review series, and we're almost done, but we might decide to retire by the end of it, guys. Unless you leave a thumbs up and a comment on the video.
Oh, wow. We're already 2 down. I don't know if you guys saw that. We're already literally 2 down.
How do you feel about that?
It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a really good day.
Yeah, I just want to contribute, guys. That's all. There was one that was 99, and then there was one that was 100. Wouldn't that be 2 parties?
Yes, well, it'll come after. It takes.
I
They're on
see.
timers, so yeah, that will happen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So much money.
The reason for the 99 and the 100 is like one is for Android and one is for Apple phones. One of them takes a penny off of every transaction.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. The first story is rather serious. There was a man named Nathan Chasinghorse who was an actor, a young actor in the movie Dances with Wolves. I think my dad's favorite movie of all time. He played Smiles a lot in Dances with Wolves, and he has been arrested for very, very serious crimes and allegedly running a cult known as the Circle. So we will talk about that. We are going to talk about NBA Youngboy. Yes, Youngboy never broke again. He is giving up the violent lyrics for his music and converting to Mormonism.
What are you gonna write about?
I love that Brett knew you'd feel strongly about this. I didn't know you would feel strongly about it.
Mary was kind of iffy about talking about it. I love talking about like kind of the esoteric stuff around music, especially rap music. But in this case, I was like, I imagine Serge has stuff to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm maybe not one of those people in the chat that you see writing, "Oh, Youngboy did it better." I don't know if you guys have seen on the internet
Dude,
for a
you
long
trolled
time.
me a whole night while we were in bars working. And just kept saying that to me.
Yeah, Youngboy did do
whole
it better.
night.
Yeah, but you know, I get like that sometimes. I get fixated on things. You know?
So we're gonna talk about that. We are also going to talk about Pamela Anderson walking back her comments. She had some very rational comments about Me Too a couple of years ago when Megyn Kelly still worked for what was it?
The Today Show.
The Today Show. I almost said The Daily Show. That'd be horrible. So she walked back her comments there. Again, this is more book tourism, virtue signaling book tourism. She's selling her book. And Stephen King, I found this absolutely ridiculous article about how Stephen King has a problem with the quote-unquote magical minority trope, which I had looked into further and is absolutely considered like a real thing with its own like bullet point details about how you describe it. To me, I look at it and I just see a bunch of whiners in Hollywood. Not even in Hollywood, but whiny critics who have to find something to complain about. We've got more stuff also. There's a very spicy Jeffree Star rumor that we're going to get into at the end of the show. So if you guys are ready, we will just get right into it. Mary, are we ready?
I am ready.
Serge?
Yeah.
Let's
do it. Let's
go. All right, we're going to get right into it, guys. So, Dances with Wolves star, he's not the star, but he was a main actor in the show, Nathan Chasinghorse. He's 46 years old. He's a member of the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota.
All right.
Good. Oh, I thought you said, here it goes again. Oh, just turned off. We're off to a great start here. So, he played Smiles a lot in Dances with Wolves. He was allegedly running a polygamist cult called The Circle. and had members as young as 13. There's alleged victims as young as 13. It's disgusting.
Yeah, this is giving Ezra Miller.
Yeah, that was the first
Nick
thing
Cannon.
I thought about. Ezra Miller, especially because he was basically like trolling an Indian reservation to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say the word harem,
Yeah.
but like he has over his years terrorizing people collected a group of women that has been loyal to him.
Yep.
And the last we heard was that he was in Vermont on his farm, supposedly providing shelter to a young family, a single mother and her children. And that father actually was still in Hawaii and trying to get a protective order out on Ezra to get him away from the children.
So Chasing Horse, he only acted in 5 or 6 things as recently as 2005, but I did see something else on his IMDb that was in pre-production. So I don't know if he was coming back to acting when all this stuff happened. Sometimes stuff sits in pre-production for years and years and years. But they found drugs, they found videos of him supposedly assaulting women. They found in apartment not just the women that lived with him, but accused of also like basically pimping out these girls to paying customers. Like,
yeah, a lot of people responded to this situation saying like, we were all waiting for this to happen. We were all waiting for him to get caught. And if you're, thank you.
Oh, there it goes.
Bring the money. Let's go.
I wanted to change the colors behind us to green and yellow.
Yeah.
It would have been very Surge. Oh, and it's saying Surge. This is your day.
This is my day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I thought the same thing.
It's a different spelling, but still.
Yeah, same day.
But people have had the notion that this guy is dangerous for a while now in the Native American community, and
he was
they've
kicked
been
off
waiting
of
for him to get caught.
He was kicked off the reservation in Poplar, Montana,
Yeah.
years ago. So they knew this.
People were saying like, I'm scared to even take my children to the park, things like this.
And the like, not just Ezra Miller, but I just wondered, is this the type of thing where it's going to just disappear from the news because it's not a current year actor? I think it will. Unfortunately.
I mean, he is, after all, a former child star,
Yeah.
and I do think that has to be addressed. I think him being a former child actor probably caused him, at least in part, to become a maladjusted, dangerous person, and that
Absolutely.
happens far too often. I guess Ezra Miller would fit in the same category, actually.
Yep. So when they threw him off the reservation, it was for allegedly for allegations of human trafficking. So they were aware of that aspect of it well before all of this. Thank you.
We were just talking about polygamy on a recent show as well,
Yeah.
because it wasn't Nick Cannon that was talking about it, was it? It was somebody else.
No, it was Akon,
It was Akon, yeah.
who's married to his 2 wives.
People were bringing up Nick Cannon as well. Now, he doesn't have 3 legal wives, Akon, but they're probably like private ceremonies that don't have any papers, just like the one that
Definitely
Kanye just did with Bianca Censori.
What's with all the fake weddings?
I don't know. Hollywood's weird. They do it a lot.
Yeah.
Probably for financial reasons, but also because none of them are religious. I don't know. Like, I feel like this stuff goes in a slippery slope, where like you start to accept certain things as normal that just are not normal, polygamy being just one example, and then it leads to some very destructive, I guess, social contagions.
Yeah,
like
because,
in an insulated group, especially with polygamy, it's like you're going to cause interpersonal conflict at the very least, but abuse when it gets to a certain point.
And the other thing about this is like we've kind of built a society now where you're not allowed to disapprove of anything. Like, and I'm kind of I guess I fall into that category a lot of the time because being more libertarian than the rest is like the idea is like, as long as you're not hurting anyone, what do I care? But a lot of people don't realize that these are kids. You are absolutely harming children.
And because there are marriages involved, there are, of course,
Yes.
children involved.
Exactly.
I want to know if this is something that's gone on throughout history, because they said he used his medicine man guy.
Yeah.
Right, is it I wanted to see if it was a Sioux thing. Is it Sioux, right? That's what... Yeah,
Someone
Sioux
did
tribe.
comment on this story saying, I
Right.
heard of him being a holy man years ago and knew something wasn't right. Having a holy man in my husband's family, I know there are years of learning, and not just anyone can be a holy man. this is like a special status in their tribe or in a lot of different tribes. And he said, I hope he's given the maximum time in prison with no plea deals.
Wow, true.
It's bad enough that there are many Native women and girls who disappear without having one of your own being responsible for those horrible crimes.
How are you supposed to know who's a true holy man and who's not? I mean, I guess you're gonna have a gut instinct, but like, you know, like one of the criticisms of the Mormon religion is that it was like a 14-year-old that went into the woods and was like, hey, found these scriptures from
I don't know
God.
a lot about Joseph Smith.
I know a lot about it.
But the point
We'll
was,
get into it later.
We will.
with
We have a
SBD.
better
Sure, but my point is not so the Mormonism, but the fact that it's like, how are you supposed to know? Like back then, like without the internet, with just like word of mouth being the best way to tell stories, like when do you trust a guy claiming to be a holy man and have your best interest in their heart?
Irrespective
and when
of
are they a phony? Like how are you supposed to know?
irrespective of which religion it is, everyone knows that powerful people use religion and religious authority as a cloak for their bad behavior, their personal deficiencies, and this looks like one of those examples.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, even Scientology has its claws very deep in Hollywood. I didn't even know that Will Smith and his family were Scientologists, but I just learned that recently.
I didn't know that.
I guess they're less public about it than a lot of other celebrities, like Tom Cruise, for instance. But like there are
de facto face of it. After the couch.
Why hasn't like
Yeah.
Alex Jones gone in and like exposed what Scientology? Like everyone kind of like knows
Yeah.
what
They're super
Scientology
litigious. They're
is,
super,
but
super litigious.
no one's.
And they're
There's no
Right.
videos, no
dangerous.
photos, like at least.
and it's become a little bit of a punchline
Yeah,
for
it
us
definitely
too.
is.
I
It
won't say
definitely
we're
is.
not part of that, and it's because of what you just said, Brett, that we have this culture where you can't disapprove of anything.
Yeah, that's my.
That they are getting away with using religion to accelerate a secular dogma.
Yeah, and that's like when I think of like this type of would he be called like a false god of sorts? Like is that what
Maybe
he
false
calls
prophet.
False prophet of sorts? Like I think of all the things we're not allowed to question in society anymore because Fauci says so, because somebody else says so, and we've built this society where you're not allowed to ask any questions.
This
And it
says-
gets worse.
Chasing Horse trained all 5 of
Yeah.
his wives, whom he lived with in his Las Vegas residence, to use firearms and told them to shoot it out with police officers if they ever tried to, quote, break their family apart, and instructed his wives to take suicide pills if their plan failed.
This is like
Totally not
so-
culty at all.
This is like
The pills were given to police by 2 women. So look,
sounds like Branch Davidians. to
I
be
saw
honest.
a crazy take on Twitter after this was reported, where
You don't say.
this guy was like, this guy was like, oh, it's just alleged, like all of this Me Too stuff is reporting on it before we know if he's guilty or innocent. But I mean, if you've got the freaking cyanide pills,
Right,
and you've got the records of this happening,
If there's
they had
videos of it
enough
happening.
evidence to warrant an arrest, right?
We're
And
also
he's
talking
been
about
charged,
minors.
not convicted.
Yeah, true.
We're-
Minors. It's not like
We're talking about minors. We're not talking
Yeah.
about adults on a bad date. We're talking about stuff that even if they were consenting, it would be a crime and illegal.
When it comes to talking about alleged incidents with celebrities, especially, we're so used to being suspicious first.
Well, it was
because
also-
it's all been diluted.
It was also normalized very recently in history, like the 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
even the 70s. There was constantly famous people who had like teenage partners,
Yeah.
and it was just normalized.
Jerry Seinfeld,
Jerry
even?
Seinfeld.
I didn't know that.
Like, that was a
Yeah,
thing.
that.
I mean, Hillary Duff and, who was that guy from, no, it wasn't Sum 41, or it was A Good Charlotte.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
things like that were actually considered more normal back then.
Even like incestual stuff too, like within
Woody
the family.
Allen.
Woody Allen has a huge one.
Yeah, but Woody
So-
Allen is now kind of.
And now,
persona
like,
non grata.
the terms about, like, that we use to talk about these things have been so abused and diluted that when you say the word misconduct, it's referring to Aziz Ansari having an awkward date
Yeah.
Right.
and Woody Allen's incest scandal
Right,
at the
which is-
same
it's
time.
such a
And it-
ridiculous comparison.
right,
You know?
exactly.
It's absurd.
So we're not even able to talk about this. We're all, like, talking past each other
Yeah.
when these things come up.
And the idea is that like you're not allowed to take the opinion one way or the like if you're the guy on the other side of this argument who's like they were consenting. No, they were underage. They can't consent.
I mean, it's arguable that even if they weren't underage, there are still cult-like aspects to this story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That means he was threatening them, and as well, like, their children, to stay in this situation. They have children younger than 16 in this household.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is this kind of Hollywood's fault for the moral decay that we're experiencing right now.
Like,
Hollywood,
a lot of it comes from this
entertainment.
Anyway, right? Yeah, it's
the
all
entertainment
from the
world's
world.
fault.
Yeah.
For degrading our society as far as it has been kind of degraded to.
Would he be at this point without being a former child
Well, no,
star?
I'm not saying just him. I'm saying, like, but in general, how do we get to this point, right? Like, is this happening in other countries? Like, is this type of stuff as prominent as it
Well,
is
of
here?
course, polygamy is common in a lot of other
But
countries.
I mean, like the conversations about abuse and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like it's difficult to say like when. I mean, even things like the foundations of Islam, for instance, like the wife of Muhammad, Aisha, who was 9 years old, which is written in the Quran. It's like it's stated as such that the wedding was, or like the marriage was consummated when she was 9, but he married her when she was like 6 years old.
That's ridiculous.
Even then, I promise you, even then it was looked upon as like odd because she hadn't reached puberty yet, so she was unable to, you know.
Well, it's even taboo to
procreate.
point out that like the life expectancy in a lot of these like ancient times was 30, 40 years old.
Yeah, well,
and
40, 50,
you can acknowledge it, but it's even taboo. That doesn't make you elderly when you're 30 or 40.
Right.
It just makes you near death.
In the chat, KM says, "Are they talking about MILF Manor?" Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. How do you get to the society we're at now? So yesterday I was reading a bunch of the reviews for MILF Manor, and all of the reviews were along the lines of like, "I feel like I need to take a shower as soon as I'm done with the episode. I love it."
That's the goal.
That's
the goal to make. That's what I've said on this show before, and I seem like a crazy person when I point it out. But it's Hollywood trying to get you feel like you're the creep.
Yeah.
You're the creep, not them. They're always pointing the finger at the viewer. Like, you're watching this because you're messed up. We're not messed up for making it because there's a market for it, and it's your fault.
It's just business for us.
I'm honestly just shocked that MILF Manor has taken this long to become a thing. Like, why? I thought it...
I mean, there are other versions of it. Like, I think there's one called Back in the Groove that we already talked about. But hopefully you can make a dating show that features women of a certain age range without making it into a weird incest thing with their sons.
Where you touch your own child's
It's literally
ass.
Yeah, that is a weird twist. It's like they had a good idea. Like, but wait, guys.
I mean, was it even a good idea
What
in the
if they
first
bring
place?
their kids?
It was a bad idea, and then they made it an even worse idea by far.
I'll push back a little bit because it's normalized for like a 50, 40-year-old man to be with a 20-year-old woman.
I don't know if that is normalized anymore.
I think it is.
I think it maybe not in the media, but I think it's still very common.
I'm just saying they would never make it.
I was just gonna say
They'd never make it MILF Manor. Like Brett pointed out, they would never do that because it's not socially acceptable.
Because like the guys on The Bachelor, not necessarily the specific Bachelor show, but bachelors usually range from like the young 20-year-old stud, and then like the financial mogul who's in his 40s or 50s. Like those Bachelor shows vary. Like you get a wide selection of men when it comes to age.
Also, these ladies are not MILFs. They're not. They're what you would call.
Far from
what's after cougar? What
gilf?
I think there's one that comes after cougar.
They definitely could have found a cast of a little bit better looking.
Well, no, they could like when your options are. Oh, by the way, you're gonna have to touch your son. Maybe your options are limited.
The physiognomy of somebody who would consent to something like that.
Yeah.
Who's that like starved for fame and needs
So apparently, if you're in your 30s, you're a puma. In your 40s, you're a cougar. And if you're in the 50s, you're a jaguar.
That's what it was. Jaguar. I've heard that.
I didn't know that. I'm happy not to be the expert on that.
The fact that these terms exist show that the culture has shifted in a way. Like, imagine somebody in the 50s, you know, what's a cougar, Dad? Johnny.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I believe that Hollywood's next thing that they're going to push in media to normalize to us is group marriage.
Yeah. I mean, Sister Wives is already a thing as far as TV shows. Like, there's
and
a
once
TV
you
show
go
called-
there, you go to incest.
This is
really
great.
quickly.
If the next story that's here is what I think it is, this is fantastic segue material going towards it. Is it the young boy thing that's going?
We're going to talk about that after super chats.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. That's great.
Do you want to get to super chats?
Let's just go
We
to
can do
super
whatever
chats
we
now.
wanna do. Yeah.
Okay. Waffle Sensei said, "People of Earth, lend me your energy."
Nice.
Thank you.
Linda T said, "Feel better, Surge." #bald Surge.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the big super chat, by the way, Waffle Sensei.
Thank you.
B Mafia 716, thank you again. Big super chat. She
Says,
said,
okay,
"Okay, one down, 9 to go."
2 down.
No, 2 down.
Yeah.
Come on, PCC fans.
We're
Thank
getting there.
you guys. Sir Rank Productions said the question was day though, not night. Wait, what?
Yeah, Saturday or Friday. It
But
wasn't about the evening.
The experience of Friday during the day is shaped by your anticipation.
So
of
your
the
Friday
night.
nights are just that good.
Yes. they are.
It's not even that they're that good. It's just the anticipation of it.
True, yeah.
Friday
during
I'm
the
not
day
saying
is
I
nice.
dislike Friday nights, but I think I get
'Cause,
more
like,
out of
you could do
Saturdays.
anything.
Right now, Saturday is
Sleep
in the
in on
lead.
Fridays.
Saturday is in the lead with 51%.
That's
Guys, get your
Yeah,
votes
You guys
in.
are
Get
just
those late
objectively
mail-in
wrong.
votes
Get
in.
those late
Sorry.
mail-in votes, and we'll count them at 3 in the morning. I will pull.
Yes.
I will
You
pull
guys
a
are gonna
duffel
put
bag out.
pizza boxes and tape
So,
them to the window.
Get that hoe.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I will pull a duffel bag out from under the desk.
I love that that's from a Surge commercial. That's so great. That's so
You
great.
need to have that's like the audio equivalent of like one of those seizure warnings in TV shows.
Surge,
Yeah,
did you
that's
drink
fantastic.
Surge?
Yeah, I love it. You can actually still get Surge at your local Burger King.
That's a at Burger
Burger King,
Yes,
yes,
it's,
still get it.
It's slightly
One of
better
the
than
worst
the,
fast food
than
restaurants.
Yeah, it is. But they have to have
No,
some
I love
redeeming. They have to have
That-
one
That's
redeeming
sus.
thing.
Is
That's as sus as you getting a burger at Waffle House.
Hey, I actually literally, I think I've actually seen it at some gas stations. They have it in a can that's like the taller can size like this. You can't. It's
Brett prefers
very
the
rare.
plastic bottle.
Oh, dude.
Of
True.
what? Of Surge?
Yeah.
Not for most soda, but for Surge, yes.
Well, it
Interesting.
doesn't
Okay.
taste the same without the phthalates, man. You
The
gotta get
Surge
microplastics.
the Surge can is gross. The
True.
Surge from the fountain is good. Kind of like
Yeah.
Baja Blast, like from the store.
It's like McDonald's Sprite.
Yes.
Yeah, true. It's just
Well,
like
because
that.
it's all syrup.
Yeah, exactly.
McDonald's Sprite is unmatched.
These days I don't even do that. I said a soda stream.
Yeah, true.
Like
Oh, you're fancy.
Could you put milk in that and make milk soda?
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
they
good.
have-
if you look up like the Amazon reviews for that, like you get every request, like every question, like can you put this in there? And it's like the same person comes
Put
in every time and
melted
goes,
butter in it?
no, you cannot do that. It is bad for it. You can't do that, please. Like everyone's like the first one's like, can I put Jack Daniels in it? It's like no. It's like, can I put vodka in it? It's like no.
Wouldn't that be everyone's first thought? Though?
Yes, apparently it was.
Have you ever
That'd be
seen
awesome.
the soda Milkis?
No.
Milkis. It's like I think it's
Oh.
Japanese or Korean, but it is milk
Of course
soda.
it's Japanese.
Yeah, of course, but it's pretty good.
I
recommend it.
I think it'd be good, like a cinnamon milk,
like it.
carbonated.
I
Give
don't
it a
like
shot.
carbonated stuff.
It's very lightly carbonated.
Imagine if it was warm and carbonated. That'd be wild.
The
Pushing your luck, man.
there's a
That'd be
really
wild.
a really
much now.
gross one called it's literally called cocaine, and the logo is like
Wow.
the word cocaine in like it looks like cocaine like spelled out
This
the,
is what,
the letters.
soda?
So it's a soda, and it's like if somebody made an even worse version of Tab.
It's like a joke on like, yo, can you pass me a Coke? And they're
Yeah.
like, you mean a Coca-Cola? No, I mean
cocaine.
cocaine, please.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That'd be great.
Big Dave sent us 99 cents without a message. Thank you.
Big dude.
Porco Rosso Forever said, I appreciate your enthusiastic Velma reviews. I'm pumped for season 2. Happy Thursday.
Look,
Are we going to review season 2? That's the question.
Like today could have been objectively worse. I forgot to watch it last night at 3 a.m. I had to watch it today in the morning before we did the review, and I was still dead inside.
In the fetal
afterwards.
position, just
Yeah.
shaking, crying, throwing up.
Basically.
Porco Rosso, KMF Opposers said, Bald is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
yes,
you.
Serge, you have
It
nothing
is.
to fear. Potatoes for Seamus said, Mary as Wonder Woman, now that's a movie to watch.
I've seen that. I wonder if I can pull that up. Hold on.
Pull up what?
Actually, I wouldn't be able to do that because that would have to be on my IG. Well, maybe I'll look for it later. He sent me like a deep fake of you as Wonder Woman and a deep fake of Hannah Claire as I forget.
Oh yeah, I saw one of Wesley as.
One of Wesley.
Is it deepfake or just a
Rocky.
Photoshop?
It's deepfake. It's video.
It's deepfake. It replaces your face.
Yeah, and it's the Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman one's very subtly done.
Really?
Like, maybe it's because like the shape of your face is I guess.
It's round enough that it's easy to impose it on something
Well,
else.
and Gal Gadot has a round
Who
face.
did this one?
I don't remember if it was potatoes.
You know what Twitter needs? Like, you know how like you can go on Reddit and you can go to a specific thread, like r/whatever.
Yep.
That's what Twitter needs. Like, there should be a way to go to like just the Timcast feed, where anyone that wants to post about Timcast, it's like, and that whole feed is just. I know you can
just
on
constant Eliza Blue,
Instagram would
nonstop.
be cool too.
I'm seeing
Twitter,
if I
like
can find.
not like a private group, like just a particular thread, like a forum, like a subsection.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Wasn't there like a Discord for a while?
Yeah, but it's like we're already on Twitter. I don't want to. Don't take me out of the app.
Right. I understand.
There's as many apps these days as streaming services. Like
There are lists.
There are lists. That's true. That's true.
Keep talking. I'm going to send it to myself. Here.
no,
I'm like learning so much about how Twitter works now. I'm really trying
falling
to
into it.
All bad things.
Oh, did you guys also see that we're going to get 6 more weeks of winter?
Yeah, I did.
Dude,
Thanks,
yes, and then I also discovered that apparently.
I just sound more confident if you're ready.
Governor.
1. Remove hedging language. For example, instead of saying, I might be able to find a way to make this happen.
It was no. It wasn't the. You should find that because the drop itself didn't kill the groundhog. The groundhog died like 3 days later.
You have the
This
video?
was like,
Fred?
yeah, you should find it.
Poor guy.
It's sad, but at the same time.
Maybe I should mute it just in case the
Might be copyrighted.
copyrighted.
Let me just watch it to yourself.
Wait, it's Brett. It's not on the screen.
Oh, it's not showing on screen. Hold on.
You have to watch
You're
it
just
twice.
laughing
I
at
get
it.
to watch it.
Yeah,
That's so funny, Brett. Okay.
Brett's just looking at World War I
You
footage
see
and
it?
just laughing.
It's great.
It's good.
Nice block.
I don't know. I don't think it looks like me.
Yes, it does.
Oh wow, that's weird.
Okay, great.
That was great. Are you kidding
Fantastic.
me?
I never saw that movie, so
I love it.
I now know what it's
You
about.
should make
Apparently
Brett
World War I.
the guy from what was Leonardo DiCaprio in where he's rich? Great
Great
Gatsby.
Gatsby. Right.
They're alive.
The Man in the Iron Mask? No, it's the
Oh.
opposite of that. Let's do one more and then we'll move on.
Okay, Lazy Neo said, have you guys talked about Nityan?
We have not.
What is that?
I do not know. But we have not talked about it. I know that.
It's his birthday.
And then do one more for Surge or from Waffle Sensei.
Waffle Sensei said, Surge, I will also shave my head today if we get to 10.
Oh, wow.
How do we
Okay.
have
Sick.
proof, though,
Nice,
Waffles?
Yeah.
Nice. That'd be cool.
Well,
We need
I
to
think
post proof.
isn't he already got a
He
shaved
is.
head?
Yeah, I think he is. That's kind of the joke. But you know,
Well,
if I do it and then you have to like big bald shave, like there's no.
you guys don't touch heads though.
Yeah.
You might. It's dangerous.
That's
Moving on
We're
from
moving on, guys.
the
All right.
Sister Wives
Yes.
topic.
So, well, kind of moving on, only a little bit. NBA YoungBoy is planning to convert to Mormonism and regrets promoting violence in his songs. That's good. You're not a fan?
No.
I have a lot to say about the LDS Church because I lived in Salt Lake for 10 years, so I know a lot about it. And I was a raft guide for a while, so I know a lot about the whole story. Pretty much all the history about it is all sus. It's very suspect.
Well, he says that he continues to prove that he's one of the most consistent and streamed artists in the industry. In 2022, he released an impressive 8 projects, but he's gonna give it all up because he regrets making violent music.
Well, it's interesting. I watched this feature Billboard did on him.
Yeah.
And he didn't mention converting to Mormonism in that, but he did talk about his violent rap lyrics, and he believes that it was influencing people, maybe, putting these messages in their ears so that they would behave violently in the real world. And we've talked about that before because of not only like legislation about using rap lyrics as evidence in criminal cases, but also just the idea that, like, maybe a video game or a song or a movie or what have you in entertainment would influence somebody to commit a crime of some kind.
It's interesting to me because I've seen both sides of this argument from, if we were talking from people with their views of the world, I've got friends from both sides of the aisle that seem to take problems with the lyrics, with rap lyrics. Me, who it's never bothered, and understand that, like, one of the strongest arguments I've ever heard is the idea that it didn't catch fire and didn't become popular until white music executives started, pushing it as a brand, and a lot of people believe that it was a form of social control.
I've talked to Shane Cashman about this a few weeks ago. We had a conversation about like looking at lyrics, and what I was saying is like it's you can't. It's entertainment. It's a product. Like you can't just like treat it as scripture and be like, this is what I need to do.
Of course, but the reality is that some people do that.
Well, people need to learn. I think that's the bigger issue.
People ain't never gonna learn.
People gonna learn. They gonna learn today. And no, I think that's what it is. It's like, because I love, especially when songs are over the top offensive, like it's like comedy to me. It's like watching a funny movie, like Jonah Hill. Like
it's weird because, like, when the culture was more used to humor and art that was like that, for instance, when Eminem was cool, we were still more innocent.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I have a disconnection about. Like, why is that?
Like, less was okay. I mean, like, there was less you could just, like, get away with, in a sense? Or what
people,
you mean?
I feel like people,
Less
even in
was
the
normalized?
2000s, the 90s and 2000s were more innocent, but at the same time, offensive humor, like, raunchy humor, stuff like that.
You
was
understood
still
what a joke was.
allowed.
You understood what a joke was, and I think that all goes back.
Distinctions
It goes back to not giving people the benefit of the doubt. You do not. When somebody says something offensive now, you don't give them the benefit of the doubt that it's a joke. You take it for the worst possible interpretation of what it could be. I think a lot of that comes from internet communication, meaning that I could have the exact same discussion with someone online and in real life, and the tones would be considered completely
I was just
different.
gonna say, it's freaking ridiculous that there's no cursive font. Like some people use, like, when you're online, there should be a universal font
People don't know
for
how to
every
read
platform. Not necessarily cursive, but like it's a distinct font that shows that you're being sarcastic.
Oh, I mean, you should just
there
put
are, like,
/s at the end
tone
of it.
indicators. I'm against even the tone indicators because it's like, if you don't get the joke, then you don't get the joke. It's not the end of the world.
But I think that plays a huge role in why everyone's so defensive. So we can complain about that, like it's stupid that they don't get the joke. But what would you rather have? Would you rather make fun of the people for not getting the joke, or would you rather have a society where people were actually open to understanding the interpretation more? The problem is a lot of people are so quick to anger that they might not even notice the /s or the eye roll emoji is a strong one that you can use as well if you're trying to indicate sarcasm.
Well, that's
It's funny because emojis have even been ruined with the skin tone thing.
I was gonna say that's part of the reason like TikTok is so popular. Like you could argue the algorithm is addicting and it keeps you on there, it keeps you hooked. But it turned what was popular about Twitter, short form messages, like quick to the point, and made videos out of it. So now you can convey emotion.
I still don't think any of this means that lyrics cause people to be violent. I think it reinforces a culture to a certain extent, but what do you do? Like, it's their right to self-expression. They have every right to this is the argument that I got in with a friend of mine who's basically saying that it shouldn't be allowed, which is funny too because he and me grew up listening to rap music together, and he's kind of come in this weird circle where he's now like anti, he's like, this stuff is bad, and it's bad for the culture, it's bad for this and that. I'm like, okay, you might be right, but his individual right to make that music supersedes, in my opinion, what it means for the culture.
He's arguing it should not be legal.
Because, I mean, I don't know if he was saying legal or if he was saying that...
Which then would necessitate enforcing it with violence.
I was going to say, they would have said that about the electric guitar when it first gained popularity.
Which is insane. You don't want to put more power into
the devil's move.
I was against the idea of them being able to use rap lyrics to prosecute crimes. I think that's disgusting. Like, I don't think that's fair.
I don't know. If you say something hyper-specific...
Well, that was pretty... like, if you're talking about, was it Bobby Shmurda?
Yeah, that was the case that they were... But that got thrown out. Like
he got convicted on it.
Or no, not... what was the recent one? They weren't... I believe they weren't allowed to use the YSL lyrics in their prosecution. For Gunna and Young Thug.
Yeah, it's kind of Young Thug. That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Gunna's all in trouble, and everybody hates him now because they think he snitched.
Yep.
like that's a culture.
People were mad at. It was right after that last Friday they released that body cam footage of Tyree Nichols. Well, one of the rappers tweeted Friday, like, immediately after they released the footage of, like, Free Young Thug, and everyone got mad at him. They're like, dude, it's not important right now.
The point is that nobody should be censoring their right to talk about their experience. And even if it's not their experiences, even if it's just how their artistic sensibilities were shaped by the things that they experienced in their life, even if it didn't happen to them. It's not the government's job to censor that, and it's not our job to tell them that they can or can't do it. We can make the argument that it could be bad for the culture. I don't know if I buy that. I don't buy that video games cause violence. I mean, that's an argument that's been made for decades. I mean, going all the way back to the 90s.
People are right to be asking the question of what does cause the violence, especially if it's related to rap music, because rappers, even after having long careers, still end up in situations where they're in shootouts, they're in gang violence.
Yeah.
They, like, for instance, even, what is his name? Offset.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a fully established person in this industry, yet still get tangled up in these crimes.
Yeah, rest in peace.
And does it have something to do with the music culture? I don't think, not worth asking.
Maybe.
I'm not Tucker Carlson in the 2000s for asking.
Right. But maybe, like, for instance, like, one of my favorite DJs from back in the past, like in 2013, I'm like, name is blanking right now, but he was essentially caught in Crossfire in Chicago because of something that was completely unrelated to him, just in the area.
Takeoff, sorry.
Yeah, it was not Offset, it was Takeoff. Yeah, he was one of the up-and-comer DJs and producers in the scene, like very, very popular, extremely popular, and he was just caught in Crossfire for unrelated beef.
It's a very interesting thing, because I had a coworker that was really into the underground rap scene, and like he knew all these people that I had no clue who they were. You'd constantly be like, oh, did you hear about this story? Like, so-and-so died. And then like 2 days later, did you hear about this story? So-and-so died. And it's almost like what you're talking about, the music, has an impact on, like, the underground rap scene. Like, the listeners, the general public, they know it's ridiculous. The people who have made it, they know it's ridiculous. But you've got this weird subset of people that, like, it is their reality. Like, oh, I have to be the best gangster out here. I have to, like, flex on people. I have to show up.
Taking it back to NBA Youngboy, when I watched this interview, I was actually really surprised at his demeanor. He's, like, a very timid, meek, soft-spoken person, and he seems almost terrified of, like, his own career and his own life. And he said in the interview, like, he's absolutely terrified of other people, and he has a very closed social circle because of it, and he's afraid of the cruelty that people are capable of inflicting on each other.
He's got so much to
and
lose
it just
now.
His personality clearly isn't reflected in the content of his music.
Yeah.
So that's why he's changing it. And I respect his desire to change it.
I disagree, because there's another rapper, J. Cole, who has a lyric, and it's like, everyone's a killer when you push them to their limit. He's capable of being a genuine, calm, expressive artist, just as he's able to be the party guy that's completely unhinged and will come after you. I think that's the beauty of being an artist, is you have that variety.
Plus, it runs the gamut. Like, if you listen to something like 2 Live Crew, and then you end up with something like Spice One, which has absolutely abhorrent lyrics that no rational person would have ever taken seriously.
Right.
Someone said it's a low vibration in rap music.
I just read
because it's low vibrational energy.
I think there might be something to that. I mean, because it's not just rap music. Like, when I put on, like, really, like, I tell Serge all the time that I love, like, hard, heavy dubstep, and it's, like, very low notes, bass heavy.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's like drinking, like, espresso. It, like, hypes you up, you know? So, like, there's something there. It's doing something. It's not lyrics. It's completely instrumental.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, bass is in everything though. Like, bass is in my voice right now. It's just a frequency. So it's like, I think, like, dubstep in the American usage of the word is very different than like the usage of the word in like a UK terminology. Even like drill music in UK drill is very different than American drill music, and etc. It's influence, it's similar, but you know they're removed. They're different things.
Do you guys think there are subliminal messages in songs?
No, but I believe the frequency thing. I think.
As far as vibration is concerned,
Yeah.
you can only really feel vibration up to like 120 or 140 hertz, anyways. I think. You can't really,
Consciously
like,
feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Then I guess there's maybe something to that. I don't know. I have to ask Ian.
So-
Have you ever heard a really high pitch that just like it hurts, not your ears, but like literally like hurts your core? Has that ever had like a really like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing?
Yeah, there's definitely
Type of things people put on their cars or
I'm
house
trying to
alarms?
think of like another realm in which if music affects your real world actions, I don't know if I buy that movies do that, and I don't know if I buy that music does it. There's
See,
so
I think
many
scenes can do it.
there are so many factors that play into all of this stuff far beyond. Nobody just listens to one song and goes and does something violent.
I don't think
is
it's
Well,
just
actually,
violence, though. It can be a lot of things, like sexuality.
Okay,
Dude,
so
the-
lewd behavior, anything like that.
The Parkland shooter was listening to Mac DeMarco while he was on his rampage.
That's true.
So it's like.
Did Mac DeMarco ever speak on that?
I hope he didn't, because what would you even say?
What would you say? Like,
What
oh,
would you
sorry?
say?
Like,
Yeah.
what is he supposed to say?
Yeah.
That's the same thing as saying, like, everybody who makes some piece of art has to co-sign everything.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
that's
Every enjoyer
it's,
of the
helter skelter. Like, no.
Yeah, or like
So,
the kicks
as
or
for
whatever.
NBA Youngboy converting to Mormonism, I'm struggling to make sense of it given that he's from Louisiana and not a heavily
But he lives in Utah.
Mormon-populated
Utah now?
state. But, like,
Wow, no way.
how... I don't know, it just doesn't seem like the move that makes sense.
In what way?
Like, given American culture, like, the most prominent sect of Christianity is, like, evangelicals, right?
Yeah, but I'd immediately push against.
But he said
considering-
he was under house arrest in Utah and came into contact with members of the church that imprinted on it, basically.
And
That-
to
that-
clarify, I
Yeah.
personally don't think Mormonism is a Christian sect.
Fantastic, thank you for clarifying.
He says, I'm at a point in my life now where I just know hurting people is not the way, and I feel very manipulated even at this moment. I was set on being the greatest at what I did and what I spoke about. Man, I was flooded with millions of dollars from the time I was 16 all the way to this point, and I woke up one morning like, damn, they got me. They made me do their dirty work, man. Look at the S these people that I put in these people's
What
names.
is it about Mormonism that is attractive to somebody who's had this life experience?
I think it's the radical change.
Yeah, a lot of rappers.
It's so 180 to the life he was living.
Dude, it said he put out 8 albums or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it had to put out 8 albums.
In 2022.
Here's what he says. He goes. I wanted help very badly. I needed a friend, and it hit me. It was just cool to see someone with a different mindset that had nothing to do with business or money. Just these wonderful souls. So
That's what proselytizing is all about.
It's all about, right? Also, you guys have to check out if you guys have Instagrams, check out Extreme Mormons on Instagram.
What is
It is the greatest Instagram channel. It's so funny. So it's
Yeah,
these
it's
two
funny.
dudes, or it's 2 or 3 dudes, Elder Jeremiah and Elder Matthew.
Yeah.
And they go around and they do extreme sports in like the black pants and the dress shirt, and they say they're like this rail is very difficult, but my faith is strong. And it's like, do it, brother, do it, Elder Jeremiah. And they basically they're very clearly not Mormons.
Yeah,
and
they're
it's
not.
supposed to be a joke, but they're actually good at like a bunch of different sports. Like they don't just skateboard, they also bike. I saw the dude do a rail on a scooter, and they even did a couple of tricks on rollerblades. Once I got really excited and messaged them. I was like, this is the greatest day ever when they finally did one with rollerblades, and they just responded with ... interesting.
Nice.
like I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a low blow. But like it was very cool. So go check out. I mean, I don't think that the Mormon Church would like the extreme Mormons.
No,
What do you call do you call a woman an elder too?
I have no idea.
No, women can't be elders. It wouldn't be a thing.
Elderess.
Based
No, there's
Mormons?
whatsoever. It's a very patriarchal religion. And that's why it's interesting to see, like, over the years, I don't remember what year it was, but it was in the mid-70s when they decided that, people of color were able to then become elders and were then able to become priests and etc. They were welcomed, and specifically black people too. They were kind of drawing a delineation between people that were Indian and people that were Latin and etc. They were saying, oh, well, you can't be a part of this, but it's so deep. It's like I could go on about this for a long time, like I've said, but it's odd to see them now be like, slowly becoming more and more, I guess, woke.
Thank you.
And seeing people like NBA YoungBoy suddenly becoming LDS or becoming a Latter-day Saints. That's like the way they would say it. If you say Mormon, it's kind of like a tell that you're not like a fan. They wouldn't call themselves Mormon; they'd call themselves Latter-day Saint. But seeing this happen is like, I wonder if they went to him in particular to go and try and,
Is he a representative of the
Well,
religion yet?
I don't know if
I don't know
this
if he
has
actually
anything to
will.
do with like the Mormon religion, because like we've seen this Kanye Chance
This
the
is a
Rapper.
mass exodus of California.
It's like when
celebrities.
you make it as a rapper, like it's the trend now to go towards religion. Like that's
And to go toward the Midwest.
Yeah.
Montana.
To leave.
Yeah.
It's the trend for
Well, that's
right
what
now
I'm
for
saying.
celebrities
It's
to
like
leave.
it's such a rite of passage. Like that's what I was saying with the whole underground rap scene. There being violence there. Like you don't really see it spill out into the general public. Like fans of one rapper are not shooting fans of another rapper. That's not happening. It's like the rapper's crew of someone who's like kind of big in the small town against someone else's crew. It's like, and so you get through that rite of passage, right? You're going to concerts, you're actually going to venues now and performing, and then you sign that major record label. And it's like, and then you put out 3 or 4 albums, and then you go under religion. It's like this rite of passage that I think the performers go through, and I don't know if we see another music quite like we do in the rap scene, but it's very choreographed. It's like
almost planned.
Yeah.
Not planned, but it's.
I mean, he's cleaning up his image, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do that for multiple different reasons.
Anybody listening to anything interesting lately, music-wise?
I have music coming out, but
yes.
Yeah,
Tell everyone.
self-plug. Yeah, I don't want to self-plug myself.
No,
but
self-plug yourself.
Yeah, it's
self-plug yourself. I'm taking that one back.
yeah, but it's not out yet. It'll be out soon. I forget when the actual release date is, but we released a mix on Cool Contest Records, which is available now. I don't know if it's on my story anymore, but I'll repost it later today.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm seeing some pushback on the Mormon conversion here. Some people are saying they didn't even allow black people until the 70s.
Yep.
I didn't know that. And I didn't know he was on house arrest either.
Yeah, he was on house arrest.
Someone else said, with the sheer amount of baby mamas this guy has, he's already halfway to being Mormon anyway.
He's got like 10 kids, and the woman he just married is the mother
at
of 2
23
of them.
years old.
Yeah.
What?
The mother
wild,
is the mother
it's
of
wild.
2 of the kids.
And people talk about Nick Cannon.
Well,
this guy is way ahead of them.
Nick Cannon is just the most famous example.
Wow.
So it's
Wish the best for
I still
him.
say I still say good for him. Like if you
someone made a chart of Mormons and ex-Mormons in the music industry. So the Killers, I didn't know they were Mormon.
I didn't know
they were.
Yeah, and then there are some ex-Mormons. Brendan Urie of Panic at the Disco.
Yep.
Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons is very famously associated with the
that. By the way, that's the band I'm thinking of when I would make fun of. When I said that the score is a psyop, I do believe the score is a psyop. But more than anything, Imagine Dragons is a psyop. You do not just show up one day that mediocre and get that big, and just tell me that that just happened by accident. It was a plan.
Their hits were at the time.
Listen, there is that one Kendrick Lamar verse of Radioactive, and that one's pretty good. But Kendrick makes the song, not that.
Then he lowered himself. They must have paid him well for it to be on that feature.
Dude, he's like screaming in that one.
Let's
Radioactive is radioactive. It is what it is.
There's nothing.
What have ex-Mormons provided for the culture other than chugginess?
There's nothing sus about
Have you guys been to the Disney Castle in Maryland? So it's not actually the Disney Castle.
What?
It's this gigantic Mormon church.
Oh yeah.
When you're driving to DC, you'll see it like you're on the
Why
highway.
is it called the Disney Castle?
Because people have no clue what it is when you're because of how many people we get from all around the world because we're in the DC area.
It looks like a castle?
It looks huge, massive, like white, like tall pillars with like a giant gold statue at the top, on the pinnacle. Some Mormon dude.
Yeah, it's actually the
I
angel Moroni, and he has his trumpet.
Wow.
It's on every temple.
But yeah, you're driving to DC when you're on 495, and you'll look and you'll just see like kind of above the tree line this massive.
I've driven to DC and I haven't seen that.
You gotta look it up.
into it.
Yeah.
Mary, let's go some chats.
All right, 1,000-Foot Deep End said this is the perfect week for Surge's crisis party wager, considering the party sound. Absolutely.
Yeah, it kind of is meant to be, is it not?
Yeah.
It was
I guess
destiny.
we started off strong, but we're slowing down.
Yeah, well, hopefully
I
we
want to
get
see
there.
it with the head
Come on,
shaking.
guys, 10.
I set the bar
Hopefully we get
high.
there.
I set the bar high.
10's a lot.
It hasn't. It's been done before. It's not out of the question. Gravitas of Stet said that's the Indian reservation my mom was from. Sad to see it in that state.
But the thing is that he did not live on that reservation anymore. They did kick him off. He was now living in Las Vegas off the reservation.
X said, what is the best sci-fi or horror on each stream platform?
You would have to pull them up to watch it. I did finally restart Battlestar Galactica.
Where's that on?
It's on Amazon Prime. The other night. Or I'm sorry, Stargate.
Oh, okay.
I was
I got excited.
No, I restarted Stargate the other night. I forgot how good Michael Shanks is in that first season. I like Michael Shanks as an actor. So it's one of those things where I can get through a couple episodes a night, but it's not one that I can put on for long periods of time.
My dad was always big into Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek and Star Wars actually, and I don't know why I didn't inherit any of it.
It's for these shows. The funny thing is, they're right up my alley because they're right in line with the idea of episode of the week. Like we go to this new place, we experience it, and the first season has some clunkers early on. Some rough ones that definitely kind of in the same way that there's some just like Quantum Leap has some ones that definitely would not be able to be made today. There's some stuff that would just definitely not fly today. But I'm giving it a shot. I will never care about Star Trek purely on principle. Because people tell me I have to, I will not.
Have the standards for TV shows continuing long run been raised?
To make it that long?
Yeah.
I don't
just
think...
because of streaming?
No, I think what it is there's only room for so many of them, and every network has their Grey's Anatomy or their Blacklist or their what do you call it? Even Criminal Minds is back now, but it's on Paramount Plus. Or what's the other one? So Law and Order SVU is on season 9,000.
Right.
The procedurals are easy to do that with.
Procedurals, yeah.
Oh, but don't even get me
That's
started.
how they.
I'm not gonna rant about procedurals today like I normally do.
I mean, that's how
I
the
will stay away.
animation shows like The Simpsons are in year 30.
Matt's S-Box Emporium, I can't read that, sorry. And Big Dave said Surge.
Surge!
You just said Surge?
But it should say Surge!
Caper2X said, like it was mentioned in Reservation Dogs and the ABC drama about a newspaper in Alaska, there had been a worrisome rash of murdered and disappeared Native American women, so this guy's antics requires closer attention. If
you guys haven't seen Reservation Dogs, I haven't watched season 2. Season 1 is phenomenal. It's one of those shows where to go back and watch season 2, I want to rewatch season 1 because it's that good, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But that first season is phenomenal television. Zahn McLaren or whatever, I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. He's one of those actors that's really, really good and everything, and he's not even the main character. This is very much he's kind of the comic relief, if anything. It's very, very good, and a good example that there are good young adult or kid actors. All the kids in the show, I think most of them they're probably in their early 20s, but they're playing teenagers. They're very, very good. Very good.
Creative Juice said, just helping chat reach the goal and letting you guys know I appreciate you all. I make stickers and would love to send you some if a P.O. box exists.
I don't know if we're ever going to get a P.O. box again. I would like a P.O. box again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll open my own P.O. box one day.
Yeah, go ahead.
If anyone's if anyone's gonna get
better you than
know
me.
what I've seen people do is they'll do the Amazon locker. Yeah, so
that makes me feel like an e-thought. I'm not doing an Amazon wish list. That's
No.
I'm kidding.
Listen. First of all, we already know you've got a wish list. We all know it exists.
What would be on your Amazon wish list, guys?
blackout curtains because I want good ones and they're expensive.
I'll just get them for you at Walmart, bro.
They're
Dude,
not that
I
expensive.
don't want the cheap Walmart ones. I want some good ones.
Oh, hoity-toity, highbrow Kellen over here. We're gonna go highbrow
listen,
Kellen.
if you get cheap blackout curtains, they're thin and they still let in light. You gotta
So you
get
get
the
two of
really thick, like
I mean,
ones.
you can
Remember
have
the ones that were in the
little-
hotel?
I don't just have blackout
Okay, those are
curtains. Mine are literally gaff taped to prevent
Nice,
any
yeah.
and all, like, literally gaff taped to my wall to prevent any and all light from
Yeah, dude, if you guys have ever seen the room of like the Riddler, it's kind of what Brett's room looks like. Just tape everywhere,
it is.
photos of people.
It's movie posters. It's movie posters and that you can't see because the room is so dark. You can't see, you can't see your own hand in front of your face.
It's beams of light with the dust floating through the air.
Greg Duvier said, "Here is for watching Velma, so I don't have to." Thank you.
Look, that review was. Did you like this one better as far as reviews go than the others? I felt like we were more broken, but like it's like
It's easier to stop raging now.
It's
We've
kind of like
said what
Stockholm
needs to be
syndrome.
said.
It's kind of like Stockholm syndrome, where it's like I've emotionally identified with my captors, and now I'm just surviving in any way I can.
You were laughing at some things, but I was like, is that just a trauma response?
It was a trauma response. What was the? I laughed at one thing. There was one thing I laughed at. I can't even remember what.
I think it was Fred when he sees one of the girls' brains in the jar. He's like, I just learned that the most attractive thing about women is their brain.
Yeah, he's literally talking to a brain in a jar.
It was kind of funny.
It was stupid, but like at least they weren't saying like you're just a dumb white
I was gonna
dude.
say it's
You're
good.
a dude.
I haven't really seen major complaints in the last week or two from people about
It's
Velma.
lost steam.
Yeah,
no one cares anymore.
I'm still enjoying making the review. Like I'm enjoying making the reviews. Plus, we're gonna have to figure out, guys, after Velma's done and after The Last of Us is done, we're gonna have to find more stuff to review because the movies are going up on timcast.com. The movie reviews are going to be going up on timcast.com, but we need shows to review. And
Thank you. Halfway there, y'all. Let's go.
For reviews, people would have to be okay with either it would have to be a show that's weekly, or it would have to be something in which we're just not going to get the review out right away. Like, if the show drops all 8 episodes at once, I'm not going to not do my work for the day so that I can spend 8 hours watching some show that may or may not be good. It might take a week to get the review out, and then people will have to decide whether they actually care enough to watch a review for a show that's been out for a week. And then the idea is, like, do they care because it's a review, or do they care because they want to hear our thoughts on something?
I wonder if there'd be a way to, like, get early access content somehow. From, like, maybe
I mean, if there is a way, we don't have it because bias.
So Serge is regretting his life choices, they're saying in the chat.
Nope.
Guys, I will say, we've missed out by not reviewing MILF Manor. We have.
Really?
I don't even think I would do that.
What if I just did it myself? I just sit here by myself every day and review MILF Manor.
I don't want to watch.
I volunteer, guys.
Okay, fine. If you need some help reviewing
I like
MILF Manor,
reality TV, but that's too far.
He's like, I volunteer as tribute. I too will watch MILF Manor.
Dude, I might watch it just to spite you guys for not watching it. I thought you guys did.
No, we talked about we watched a couple of clips from it, and I've been looking at the reviews. Like I've been looking at the reviews, not watching the show. I've been reading the reviews on IMDb.com, and they're hilarious. .com.
We just don't want to admit.
Podcast.
Stop making.
We're bringing it.
We're not bringing that back.
Is that how you say it?
No, I said it like that one time.
No, that's just how Brett says it. He
What?
says
Podcast. Welcome to the Pop Culture
Next
Podcast.
chat. We're moving on past this.
Iruptas of Set said bringing up Mormons and Native Americans in one show.
Yeah, true.
Nice.
Spicy.
A lot of history there.
RS Deg Your Chops said Crisis Party goals. We're reaching 10 so quickly.
At Wells Fargo, direct deposits come up to 2 days early with early payday. What if everything came 2 days early?
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar. Welcome to another episode of the Some Ordinary Podcast. I wish I could tell you the episode number, but I can't count that high, ladies and gentlemen. I've got amazing co-hosts, as you all know, Nugsaku and
But Bill, say hi, boy.
Thanks for checking out the stream tonight. I appreciate it.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! But I've also got Vince Vintage over here. How's it going, Vince? Me and I'm just gonna straight up say it. Me and Vintage are actually figuring out how to start a sweatshop course. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Get ready for that one. It's coming out soon.
What country are you starting it in?
Oh, Vietnam, bro. That's like where everyone gets their sweatshops ready. So how's it going, buddy? How's the sweatshop dream going for you? Have you learned how to hustle right, or are we still like, you know?
Yeah, it's going good. I've been looking like in Malaysia, maybe the Philippines, trying to see what the labor law is. Kind of like with Andrew Tate in Romania, trying to find that optimal country to commit the most crimes, but...
Yeah, we don't use the term crime, like...
Oh,
We're bending the rules. We're doing a little bit of matrix breaking, if you will, too.
Exactly. Really.
Yeah, really. We're trying to find where the bar has been lowered for human rights the most.
We're trying to find where the felonies are just misdemeanors.
Speaking of Andrew Tate, how excited are we to know that, I don't know if I can say excited, really. I'm just, kind of shocked. 30 more days in detention. It's been going rough for our buddy out there. He's been making these, like, religious posts now, like, I have friends as cockroaches now, and I'm being tested by Allah right now in, like, the prisons.
He's like, I'm not mad at the prison guards, they're just doing their job. It's like that, I do gotta say, that sounds like it sucks.
It's like the whole
solitary confinement.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad. But the whole like YouTuber thing, it's when someone gets in trouble or whatever and they hate the people and that get them in trouble, but like, I don't want to send any hate to them, guys. I don't want to send any hate to them.
Right. But I will talk about this.
But I will paint them in a terribly negative light, and hopefully my fans will pick up arms with me looking like the good guy.
Dude, I'm so glad that I'm so glad that Aiden Ross has become like a full-on like blown like Muslim now, dude. It's insane.
He's converted to Islam?
Well, no, but like he went from like he was like, remember like a few weeks ago, he's like, oh dude, hell yeah, OnlyFans people on my entire page. Now he's like, we're against OnlyFans. It's poison for the mind.
It's poison. My favorite line that he said when he had that whole rant was where he said that OnlyFans is the same as gambling, and that's a fact in my opinion.
That's a fact, exactly.
Best line of all time. That's a fact in my opinion. That
goes hard.
Oh man.
Dude, I love Aiden Ross. Like, there's only so many bangers a creator can do on such a rapid basis. Like, I'm still reeling from the fact that I saw a clip of him, like, go up to Andrew's chair and just do, like, one of those, like, comically, like, insane sniffs. I'm like, dude, I will never forget that. And then, like, a week later, he's just like, all right, OnlyFans, dude. We're getting rid of this poison and cancer.
Which is ironic, because, like, he streams with OnlyFans creators all the time.
Yeah.
Right? It's like all stars.
Yeah, he's like a weird, like, I think Andrew Tate is like, he's like an unironic believer. Like, he's an unironic man, like, he's jumped. Because that's, like, if there's one thing about the Tate that I know, like, Andrew is like, I just know that he doesn't have any strong convictions in any of this. He just, like, riffs really well. Tate. But, like, the people that, oh, yeah, easily Tate. Like, let's not, it's like any of those course scammers. Like, they don't have any actual conviction. They just know how to hustle, and, like, they know what will work with the audience. Like, absolute brilliant marketers, if you will. But, like, the people that orbit them, they just actually believe this shit. Like, Sneeko and Aiden Ross, like, they jump into the whole, like, meme that hard. It's kind of beautiful, to be honest with you.
That sounds like something the Matrix would say.
I mean,
yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just going to say it's smart for Andrew Tate to kind of do that whole pairing up with Aiden Ross. With, like, the whole prison thing. Like, out of any person you can hit up, you want to hit up the biggest Twitch streamer that's, like, on your shit right now. And, his audience is just expanding. It's like, dude, if there was any other creator that was in prison for trafficking, they would just be absolutely hated. But for some reason, it's like with Andrew Tate, like, nothing is, like, sticking to this guy. And,
there's it's interesting because, go ahead.
Look at it from the perspective of his fan base. Whoever is a fan of Andrew Tate is just by the fact that they're buying into the Andrew Tate lore, they're also buying into the fact that the Matrix exists and is out to get him and will lie to put him in prison. So I don't think it's that much of a jump.
The thing about his detainment, and like for me, I think anytime anybody is detained improperly, I think it's wrong. Like if they have no evidence on Andrew Tate at all, period, I don't think he should be detained. Like I don't think he should be detained if they have no evidence, right? But the thing is, like the only reason they're detaining him is like he's obviously a flight risk. Like he said in the past, like it's easy for me to like go. I have multiple passports, everything. Anytime you make that statement, bro, no country is gonna let you leave, right? Like if I made that statement and I was under investigation, I'd immediately be put on a travel lock. You know, like it's not like I can't even blame the country for it. I can't blame anyone. It's like you made your own bed. But the thing is, like, the more the days pass, I can only imagine how this investigation is going to come out, like, revealing the most insane shit about Andrew Tate, or he's going to walk away innocent. And at the end of the day, like, I kind of really hope that he's innocent, just because I don't want there to actually be anybody that was hurt. Like, I don't want this to turn into a case where, like, oh, this is, like, a long story of, like, how many women or, like, men that have been, like, completely used and chewed through some system. Like, I just don't want to hear the worst, like, I don't know. Like, the whole world has so much bad shit going on into it that I don't want the extra compounding thing, you know? Like, and I don't know. I just want him to come across as some goofy incel guy versus, like, an actual, like, you know, oh, we got Epstein 2.0 out again, like, Christ. But if he's guilty, I'm glad that, like, law enforcement has taken it so seriously that, you know, the guy's going to be convicted. It's just a matter of time to figure it out. I'm just waiting for the convictions to hit, or like, you know, something to be finally decided, right? Like it's insane how long this has gone on for.
Because he can be detained for 180 days, and it's like so it's 180 days, like the limit on the detention, but they renew it every like 30 days.
Right.
And then there's been some, so I mean, this could go on for months.
Yeah.
Which is it's interesting
how. That means I might have found something. I don't know. Like it's a matrix.
And it's kind of wild how they've just been like slowly kind of like leaking this evidence to kind of just put a little bit more belief in people of like, you know what, this guy's actually done this thing. Here are these text logs. Like, did you guys see that one where he was texting the politician's daughter that was like 16 years old?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of these are real or fake. Like, I'm so torn on them, to be honest, because it's so easy to be anti-Andrew Tate and get clout. And like,
so you're pro.
I mean, like at the end of the day, you should just be pro the truth, no matter what. Like you should be pro 100% the truth. And I hate this whole like.
If he committed crimes, he should be put away. If he didn't commit crimes, then he should go free. It's not like it has nothing to do with whether I like him or not.
Exactly. Like I don't like Tate. Period. I think he's an idiot. Like I think he's just one of these like grifty types. But if he's not guilty of a crime, right? Like if he's not guilty of any actual like serious crime, like human trafficking, then he should be free, right? Like that's kind of that's like how a civilized society works, right? Like you may not like somebody, but you're not like if they haven't done anything to impact society, then you should just let them roll free. But again, if he's guilty, then throw the book at him. And again, if he is guilty, I want the people who are like, oh, it's the Matrix that screwed him over. I'm like, guys, that is such. I always hate how much of a cop out that shit sounds because Logan Paul just used that very recently. Like the fucking Matrix is after you. It's like, dude, there is no such thing as the Matrix, okay? Like, at the end of the day, it's like you're, like, the consequences of your actions manifested, all right? So you can deal with that shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, Christ.
It's kind of like Donald Trump with, like, I lost, you know, like, the election was cheated for me. The election was cheated. And then it's like all these rabid fans constantly believe that, even though they're doing all these recounts. They're trying to, you know, show evidence. But at the end of the day, there are people that, you know, you can never be changed on that. If he is guilty or not.
Once you deal with conspiracy theorists, you're absolutely right. Like, once you deal with people that are so into the conspiracy brain, they can't be fucking flipped away. Because my thing is, like, it's not that I'm opposed to conspiracies, but when, like, new information comes to light, or, like, actual peer-reviewed shit comes to light, I'm gonna change my opinion. Some people are just, like, too scared to, like, can admit that they were actually wrong, you know, the whole time. Like, that's the real problem.
Yeah, and there's always another, even more far-fetched conspiracy theory to explain the last conspiracy theory.
It's
true. It's like, so the moon landing was fake. Well, that means NASA is part of the Illuminati. Well, that means that the Illuminati controls the world. Well, that means the Earth is flat. It's like, it just goes from one to the next.
No, like, we're at a point where, like, we're literally quoting we're quoting science fiction movies, bro. We're, like, actually taking the Matrix as a serious, you know, thing. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Raycon, ladies and gentlemen. This time of year, everyone's talking about making ball with a big impact, go to buyraycon.com/SOP today and get 50% off your next Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/SOP to store 50% off. Buyraycon.com/SOP.
Here's the crazy part, though. Like, the reason why I think Andrew Tate and a lot of his, like, peers get this audience is because they say half-truths, right? To an extent, the government does control stuff, right? They are watching you through your computer. They're doing all that stuff. So there is some kind of matrix. Now, how crazy much control does this have over your lives? Well, you know, probably not as much as he's saying, but that's a
Well, it's like, okay, here, like, if you want to talk about half-truths, like, tomorrow, imagine if Andrew's like, you guys know that the NSA watches everything you type on the internet and send it around. You're like, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, obviously they do. Every alphabet agency in the country checks everything that you do on the internet. Okay, but, like, what are they doing with that? Chances are they're probably treating the shit pretty equivalently. Like, back in the 70s, and I've been researching this for a video, like, remember how, like, the FBI, like, tried to harass Martin Luther King and, like, you know, a lot of the big civil rights people? Well, like, conveniently, every time you talk to people who are always throwing the FBI under the bus, I'm like, what about how they also, at the same time that they were harassing Malcolm X, they were also keeping tabs and harassing the KKK leaders, too, at the time, too. They were, like, looking into their shit. Like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, they were peeking through everyone's mail and everything, but they were always, like, just on every person of interest. Like, what they forget is, like, the government, like, in a lot of cases, like, these alphabet agencies, they don't necessarily have, like, the political lean. They just, like, typically go after any persons of interest, because they're staffed by people that are so diverse in their, like, because you're always going to have left and right-wing leading people in these agencies, like, just intertwined and mixed, right? Right. At the end of the day, they're people that are designed to safeguard the country. It's almost like an autonomous body, right? Like, you can cut the head, like, it's like a hydra, right? Like, they're just designed for one job and one role only. So that's one of the things that I always put, like, I'm always like, okay, there's a conspiracy, the FBI is tracking you. You think they're specifically designed to shut you down or to make sure that there's a level playing field for the country, right? Like, at the end of the day, that's what they're going for the most. I'm not saying they don't do shady shit, but they're doing shady shit to keep things at least in some weird balance, right? Like, that's how I've always seen it.
It's like with that, like, there was that Joe Biden had those confidential documents, and they, like, raided his house and, like, took them out. And that was, like, a couple weeks ago, and then I think, like, yesterday now it's, like, Mike Pence had a bunch of confidential documents, and then Donald Trump had them, you know, like, a year ago. And it's, like, the FBI going after this, it's kind of, like, you know, there really isn't any side, especially, like, going after the president while he's in office, you know? Like, it's pretty wild.
It's like people don't look at the good side of it. Like, if you think about it, what other country in the world allows their federal agency to look into politicians this hard?
Yeah.
Like, could you ever imagine the Russians allowing, like, the FSB to, like, look at Putin this hard? No. Could you ever imagine, like, any other country doing this? Like, it's kind of wild that, like, the FBI has that much power that they can look at actual presidents, like people who are in the highest position, the highest echelon of the country, and be like, yeah, we're still gonna, like, look into your shit. Like, you still can't commit actual felonies, you know? Like, you can't actually, like, do something wrong. That I find is really cool. If people don't look at that silver lining, they always, like, try to find some corruption or whatever, and it's like, dude, like, don't get me wrong, that's another half-truth, right? Like, people are like, oh, corruption exists 100%, okay? Mm-hmm. It's just like, it's not going to be as in your face and prevalent as, like, some other compromised country, so to speak. It's fucking insane dealing with any of this. Like, again, like you said, Vince, like, anytime you deal with people like this, once their brain is set so hard into that, like, conspiracy brain or like that, you'll never be able to convert it. You'll never be able to change it. It's over.
Like with the Romania thing, it's like Andrew Tate's not only, like, pissed off a lot of people, you have all these allegations, but it's like the Romanian government, look at it from their end. You have this guy that specifically came to the country to escape the English, you know, like the sexual laws and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. On TikToks, all these videos where he's like, man, I moved to Romania, so if I ever go to prison, I can just give him a stack of cash and say, bye-bye. You know, any kind of attorney I have, I want to be, just get me out. I've committed multiple felonies. I'm done. So the guy has no respect for the Romanian legal system. Now he's in prison. Now you go on his Twitter and he's like, I have the utmost respect for the Romanian law system. His attorneys are making statements saying the same thing. Like, Andrew Tate has the utmost respect for the Romanian legal system.
Yeah.
And it's like, all of the things that guy said, like all those TikToks, all those videos, man, all of that stuff is going to be used against him. And it's like, yeah.
Well, the other thing too, go ahead, Kel.
He's going to do the Alex Jones thing, though. It's got to be satire, right? Because there's so much evidence that it is satire, anyways. and he's like always breaking character or whatever. And Alex Jones got away with that in every single sense aside from the Sandy Hook stuff, which was obviously not that's kind of just
that
next
was
level.
Just exactly. I think what's gonna like come out of this is like, I think what's really happened is like, look, no matter how fucked up your country might be, like there's Romania has obviously a high corruption index. Like India has one too. Like a lot of places. Like if you're so blatantly disrespectful, it's just another example of we'll make an example out of you, right? Like
100%.
You could, like. Mexico is a really corrupt country. I'm not saying this to be mean to like people. Like I love Mexico. I like Mexican people. I like their culture and everything. But let's admit one thing: your government's all kinds of up. Right? Like if it's any government that's like, oh shit, you running a drug cartel? Come on in, buddy. Like they don't care. But like if you're the one drug boss, that's like, these government Mexico City ain't gonna do shit to me. Oh, they're gonna send everything after you. If you make fun of them publicly, then just for appearances, you're just like, all right, I guess we have to actually do our job. Somebody's actually going to prison.
Didn't Tucker Carlson also he also got off of something? He said that his show is satire.
Who did?
Tucker Carlson.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that.
He did.
Yeah.
Wait, what did Tucker do?
I don't remember. This was a while ago. Remember Anthony Padilla told me about it right before our interview. And I was just like, what? No. So,
what the?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Claimed his show is...
What did you say?
Who, me? He claimed his show, to get out of a lawsuit of some sort, he claimed his show was satire. Which is ironic for
I heard
news.
about that. It was like the entertainment, because they were like Fox's entertainment, not news, and I'm like, oh, that's a good cop-out and a half.
Dude, no. Fox News, right?
Have you seen Tucker getting angry recently? Not just over the M&M, but because they added like a power feature to the Xbox for some reason. He's like, they're introducing climate change politics to your children. I'm like, damn, Tucker. They added like, so basically the whole drama is, so like Microsoft added an update to the Xbox consoles where like instead of you using the always on thing, it would like just default to the power saving, which fundamentally doesn't fuck up the console anyways, because you still download games. It'll take like an extra like 10 seconds to start the console, right? Like you just exactly. That's all it is. It's like Xbox has become woke box. I'm like, damn, dude. Like you can go into the setting and toggle it back if you really wanted to. Like I literally only used the feature back in the Xbox One days because I wanted to download games while the system was off. You don't have to do that anymore. So I'm like, why the somebody just sat there, like, unless you needed to fucking game on Call of Duty 9 seconds faster, why is this such a big fucking deal? And again, they brought the whole, like, politics to it. I don't know, anytime you, like, go ahead.
But don't they already have that? Isn't that, like, on all, like, Xbox, PS5? Like, why is it a problem now?
It's just automatically on now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they changed the default on the Xbox, which, again, like, even if you were to, like, remove all the politics, if I was, like, the engineer, I'm like, just make it a default so the system has less wear and tear. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it such an own for, like, politics? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna burn my electric bill through the roof. Why? Like, unless you don't see a difference, and you can just change it back. Like, I swear to God, like, if you show Tucker Carlson the fucking sleep mode on your computer, the hibernate button, he'd freak the fuck out. Like, you can't have your computer on all the time. I'm like, no. Most people try not to. It's go ahead.
It's just crazy how you can get, like, some, like, minute thing that's happened and somehow frame it in this way to where it's, like, this political opinion, to where it's, like, we need to side with this thing. Like, it's just the power standby thing. That's all that it is. But the framing it of, like, oh, they're trying to indoctrinate the kids with woke green culture, and it's, like, the power savings are minuscule in the end of it, but it's, like, I know, like, with the I was reading something where it was, like, if your computer's on, like, this power saving standby, like, it saves, like, millions of tons of coal, because it's like every city, every town, every person that has this thing just constantly running. But I guess it's just nuts how, like, they can just frame something so dumb like that.
Sometimes I just do it myself because I'm like, less wear and tear. Like, I'm not using my computer. Oh, it takes one tap on my keyboard to bring it back to life. Who cares? Like,
I don't want to do that.
This such? Yeah, exactly. Like, how is this such a big deal for people. Like, you have to be so bored with your life to get this mad over dumb shit. It's like the green M&M. Like, Tucker, are you gonna f the M&M? Like, is there a problem if the M&M's like shoes are a little different? Like, I never even knew M&M's had gender. I'm like, dude, this shit is chocolate candy. There ain't no way that.
Like, of course they have to introduce an obese M&M. Meanwhile, every M&M is round. Like, literally, they're all round.
Before I came on, before I signed on to, like, before I logged in, I was on Twitter in the bathroom, and, like, bro, the first post that I saw, it's immediately reflective of, like, that whole site. I can't believe, because some chick who shared the trending tab, and it was the word obese, and it's like, I can't believe Twitter is allowing slurs to trend. I'm like, dude, come on.
Oh my
obese
God,
is not
that's not a slur. Oh
I think that's a troll. I think that's a troll account.
That's the woke mind.
Yeah.
That's the woke mind virus that Elon talks about.
The woke mind virus.
How is every single like famous person in the world gone so haywire at this point?
It's so funny how like Tucker, like, so Elon's like this right-wing guy now, I guess apparently, and it's like Elon's talking about power saving modes. Bro, he's like simping for a dude that made a car that's an entire power saving mode. What the fuck? I don't get it, dude. Like, how is Elon gonna talk about climate change now with Tesla, with the audience that he's built up? He's like, so guys, about the future of the world and shit. You know why I started this company, right? Like, right?
About climate change, and everyone's like, what? You believe in that?
Yeah, it's like, I don't even think he can use the word zero emission on a Tesla boat anymore without people turning it into woke shit.
The total money just to make this car, it contributes so much pollution, so it actually offsets the same as like a regular car.
I didn't want to actually help. I just wanted to offset the emissions somewhere else. Now we're more concentrated, and I've added like child abuse to it as well too, so we can just add extra compounding problems.
What do you think about all that stuff with the Tesla autopilots? Like there was that 8-car pileup where the car just like phantom broke. It was like phantom braking.
Oh, they apparently proved that the autopilot was enabled when that happened. Because Tesla does this really scummy shit with the autopilot. Like, if you're about to f***ing crash, it'll be like, oh, autopilot disengaged, please grab your wheel. You're already dead before you ran halfway into it.
It turned off like 2 seconds before you crashed. So the liability isn't on Tesla. It's like, well, the autopilot was off when you crashed, so, that's your fault. It's not, it's not Tesla.
Yeah. Well, I've never had an issue with the autopilot on a Tesla myself personally. Like, so, okay, the fucking in-city driving shit is scary because this thing drives like a crack addict, okay? Like, looking to get its next fix. Because it makes a turn at like 30 miles an hour, okay? Like, you'll be dead stopped and it'll like floor a turn. Like, it'll be right? It'll flip the wheel and it's like floor it. I'm like, I'll just do this myself. Highways are totally normal, but I have to imagine, like, how dead must you be inside when you're driving your car? And, like, it just starts slowing on a highway. Like, if my car does that kind of shit, I hit the brakes and it just drives myself. That's it. Like, I don't even stick to the autopilot shit. I think, dude, I'm surprised that we're even allowing car companies to test this shit on a public road, you know? Like, I have, like, anytime I see a Tesla driver on the street now, like, they're the new BMW drivers for me. Like, I used to make fun of Beamer drivers all the time. It's like they never have turn signals in their car. Like, you could go, dude, BMWs are crazy. No matter where you go, every BMW driver is the same piece of shit. You know, like, you could go to any country, any culture. You could find the fucking Gandhi of a person, right? Like, the most honest, noble man in the world. Give the dude a BMW for 2 weeks, and the dude turns into the biggest piece of shit. Never a turn signal, always has to honk the horn, always has to rip his car past you for some inane reason. Now Tesla guys are the new dudes, because the Tesla dudes, they just pass out when they're driving. They don't even care. They're like, flick that autopilot on, put the weight on the wheel, and just sleep it off.
Sleep it off. I was reading this story about, there was this guy in LA. So he's been pulled over 3 times for sleeping with the autopilot on in the morning. 3 times.
That's good.
So the first time what happened was he was driving down the freeway. It was a cop pulls up on the side, sees the guy just like knocked out. So he goes behind the guy. He's like, and I guess he tails him for like 10 miles with the lights on and the sirens, and the guy wasn't waking up. For like 10 miles, the autopilot's just going, the cops are behind him. And the only moving violation they could give the guy was like for, it was like his eyes not on the road or something. And that's it.
Huh?
So the guy.
Damn, dude, California Highway Patrol slacking.
Yeah, so they've been trying to like figure out like some kind of law where it's like you're not allowed to sleep in your car, blah blah blah. But dude, there's stories like I was reading about a bunch in Germany of like these guys consistent because it's like you got to think about it. If you drive to work 7 in the morning, you're super tired, and then you got the autopilot. It's like you know, like you're super tired. Like why not sleep? You know?
Because you don't want to die.
But like you can see how someone can sleep. Like you're super tired. It's the morning, and you're just kind of knocking out.
Crazy.
3 times.
I've had it where like I'm driving home back home at like 11 o'clock, and I am kind of passing out of my car because I have the shit enabled, so I turn it off and I just focus on the road and drive myself just to stay awake.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to like pass, because I can see that. But they had, dude, they're so genius with the autopilot. Like Tesla knows how to like. So there's these weights you can buy on an older Model S, not like the new one with like the cabin camera that like acts like fucking Adolf. Like, please stare at the road, otherwise you will immediately be disengaged. So like you can buy these weights that'll like wiggle your wheel a little bit. Now the thing is, in the autopilot settings, you can literally go in and be like, just turn off as many confirmations as you can. So as long as you have the weight enabled, it'll do all the lane changes and shit for you. It's insane, like how you can manipulate it to be even lazier. Again, it's like I think the tech is cool. Like I definitely like think it's like because it reminds me of that iRobot shit. You know, when Will Smith on his police officer salary is buying like an Audi and autopiloting supercar somehow.
Totally salary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's so good in Chicago, right? Like. But so I thought it was cool. Like I'm like, oh, the car drives itself. But it's just now I'm like, damn, we're literally testing beta software on a public road, dude. I don't know.
Like they were saying with that cabin camera. So there was a guy that he was driving down the road. His eyes were out, and then he took a picture, printed it out, put it on a poster board, and then he put it in the driver's seat. And Tesla thought someone was actually still driving it. So it was like a little kind of like a wave of the field. But the guy was just showing like these cameras, like they don't have the infrared or anything else.
Perception, yeah.
And it's just like the exploits with that. It's like, what's to say you couldn't put like a pair of sunglasses that make your eyes look like it's on the road? You know?
You're gonna have like those goofy sunglasses, like the fucking guys and shit. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like it's so easy to fool these systems that like again, it's just people are gonna do it to be lazy on the road, and I don't understand. Like if you buy a car like that, like especially if you buy an expensive ass car like a Tesla, at least drive it yourself. Like what the hell is going on?
What's the point?
Yeah, like when I'm driving any car like that, like dude, they're fun to drive. Like you can rip those down a highway and have a fun time. Who is just setting it to autopilot and just like crossing their arms and like waiting to arrive at their destination?
A lot of people buy fancy cars for like a status thing, right? Like it's not always the fun of the drive.
Like
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, but they're all taken away, dude. They're gone. That guy had a GTA 5 garage that got fucking impounded and taken away, dude. I mean, he got to live his life at least until like whatever comes at him now. I mean, at least talking to our Bugattis are the same color now. Like, Jesus Christ. I just, dude, it's just wild, man. Like to come across like any of this, I don't know, this newer technology shit with these like autopiloting systems. I don't know what the future is, but like, I just know that it's a new state. Is anything Elon related? Like, I don't know if you guys are big Elon fans anymore, because I used to be like a huge Elon, like, oh, this guy's gonna like change the future. We're gonna go to space, bro. And now I'm just like, I don't know. Like this dude's tunneling in Las Vegas. He's making one tunnel in Vegas, and it's like, dude made like a tunnel for Teslas. And he's acting like it's gonna kill traffic.
I have something for you, Muda, right here.
Oh shit, hold on. He's gonna bring out a train, just watch. Dude, it's like, this is a committed bit. Hold on, he's got something.
Got the flamethrower.
Drives a BMW on
the
screen.
No way, he's got the flamethrower?
The Elon one,
yo. Let's go, dude.
What?
I had one of those.
Bro, I used to be the biggest Elon fan. I had a friend that bought me this like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I bought one too, yeah.
Like super big Elon fans, and I was like, yeah, like same thing, like dude.
I'm coming at you with a brand new episode of the Velma Review. What can I say? Really? It's still crap. There's moments that just happen because plot needs it to happen. And, well, because we live in 2022, and every time somebody makes a high school drama, high school anything, and I guess Mindy Kaling's no exception, we have to have a prom episode. Further cementing that Mindy Kaling has some serious high school issues that she probably needs to address. But, let's get into it, shall we? Because it's a dumb prom episode. No, it does have the serial killer. I'll give it that. But it also shows that, again, after the article that I read earlier this week, where Mindy Kaling was so excited to destroy Scooby-Doo, yeah, it comes out again in this episode that they are so excited to destroy it. Well, let's get into it, shall we? So we start off, Velma's looking at her murder board again, and while she's looking at it, she decides to start reading her mom's manuscripts, and remember this, spider killer. It's a dumb joke. It's dumb. Because she's trying to figure out what does jinkies mean. While she's doing it, we're getting Daphne to respond, call her, but she's ignoring her. She's going around, finding different things. Daphne tries to talk to her again, little Constance Wu. And we open up on the door, and it's, oh my god, girlfriend's dead. But not really. Because in reality, she's just asking Mindy's dad, who's not Velma, Mindy's dad to the, will you go with me to Crystal Cove Fog Festival? Yes, they're having a fog festival. This is your prom episode. And things happen to happen. Reveal, she's not dead. She just faked it. And they're excited because they're going to go to the fog festival. And as they're explaining everything to Mindy, who's upset that everybody's going to a fog festival and, that whole stuff's going on, she's asking, well, why, don't we have a curfew still? Isn't that still a thing? And she's responded by, no, because, remember, it was a family secret, a big, serious family secret that, Norville or Sam Worthington's grandma is a mad scientist lady. Well, they just came out and said it, and they wrote a whole article, and they said that the murderer is just her ghost. Yeah. So everybody thinks it's a ghost that's killing everybody, so it's no longer a problem, because nobody can capture a ghost. And everybody's so excited to party. Everybody's having fun. But here's the catch. Serious catch. In order to go to Fogfest, you either have to be a single dude or a girl with a date.
How's it going? Astra MLB.
I don't remember when that comes out. It has to be during this whole exposition dump style thing between Mindy's dad, his girlfriend, and her, and it's so weird. And she's very angry because of sexisms. Oh yeah, this is a very sexism episode. We get them, hey, everybody thinks it's a ghost, even the sheriff thinks it's a ghost. That's pretty much that, it's so stupid. Cut over to Glenn, whatever his face, who's not Fred, talking about his acceptance speech to his parents about becoming Fog King. And he jokes that he really thinks that his Fog Queen's going to be Mindy Kaling, and his parents tell him no. Is that a joke because it's not funny? Mom comes in and says, well, what do you think we do for a living? Huh? What do you think we do? Well, they run They run. I just had it. They run a clothing apparel store that's for really good stuff and everything. And his mom says, no, we sell the finest things, the best things, and if you aren't Fog King, you can't come home anymore. So basically they're laying it on that he has to become Fog King if he ever wants to come home and be a part of the family. Yeah, it all centers around this whole stupid episode. Now we're at high school, where Gigi's talking to... We finally got her name today. Olive. She's not just blonde random girl, she's Olive. Gigi's talking to Olive, because I guess she broke up with Norville, after the last episode, where she got stung by a bee and Norville ignored her the whole time. Well, Sam ignored her the whole time and didn't even answer calls or anything, so she broke up with him, and now she's sad because she wants him to ask her to Fogfest, whatever it's called. I don't even care anymore. She opens her locker. Spooky Ghost comes out. And it's not Spooky Ghost, it's actually Sam, and he asks her to Fogfest. And she says yes. It is just so stupid. Mindy's now mad because her safety date is going to Fogfest with somebody else, and she's also pissed off that everybody's not paying attention to her because it's a serial killer and not a ghost. And she doesn't understand why they need a Fogfest. A lot of this I actually don't fully remember, but Sam reminds her why she loves the fog so much and Fogfest. And it's because of all these cool little things. We see young Mindy Kaling playing with Daphne, doing all sorts of cool stuff, and the funny, wacky stuff in the fog, from monsters actually being just Constance Wu kid style with a bear, to the fog being able to change their clothes around. Oh, it's so cool and fun. And as, Mindy's reminiscing, she's like, well, I have nobody to go with now. And Sam's like, oh, well, just go with your usual date. So she goes and asks Constance. Well, begins to ask Constance. She sits down, and Constance lets out that, I'm so upset. Oh my god, it's a ghost of Velma. Please, somebody come over here and try to talk to her so that she can go away, because she's mad that Mindy's been ignoring her the whole time. So, with Mindy finally saying, hey, will you go to Fogfest? They get interrupted by a casserole being thrown at Constance's face, and it's nothing more than Sam begging her to please go to Fogfest with him. Mindy says, no, he's not joking. He's not doing this because he wants to go with you. He's doing this to make her jealous because she won't go. He's not gonna go with. She isn't gonna go with him. And then Glenn says, no, as much as I would like to go with you, I have to become Fog King, so I need Constance to go with me to be my Fog Queen. And she agrees. I'm just baffled at how stupid this all is. We get home. Mindy's family's going out for Fogfest. Mindy's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to stay here and read my mom's manuscripts while you guys all go out and party. She's all upset because nobody's acknowledging that, hey, there's a serial killer. It's not a ghost, it's a serial killer. She looks outside, she sees, can't get the shot just right. She sees Daphne getting into the limo to go to Fogfest with, it's Constance going to Fogfest with Glenn. And Mindy tries to call her. She sees that it's Mindy, and she just keeps ignoring her.
after the whole night of, hey, I'm just going to be alone, reading manuscripts all over again, Mindy takes Spider Killer, the thing that I pointed out at the beginning, to smash another spider, when she realizes Spider Killer's also a manuscript. Yeah, they were trying to read through all the manuscripts to find Jinkies, any reference to Jinkies, and she couldn't find any reference to the phrase Jinkies. Well, here's Spider Killer, which is a manuscript, and guess what? It's Detective Jinkies, The Case of the Invisible Ink. It's also some weird, over-sexualized fanfic, but because of the Case of the Invisible Ink idea, she takes the note that has Jinkies on it, runs it over the light, and it turns out that it has a phone number on it. So she calls the phone number, and it goes straight to the serial killer, who doesn't answer but lets the surrounding area be heard. You hear a foghorn, you hear a crowd, you hear all this stuff. And that's when Mindy realizes he's at Fogfest. My God. This show. Water. I don't even care that was on video right now. This is just an awful show. So, she realizes he's at Fogfest. So, she decides, hey, she needs to get to Fogfest, but she's a single girl, so how is she gonna go? She has an idea. And this is when the sexism and the disconnect from reality is about to set in. Hard. So we get to Fogfest. We see that it's Constance's mom's checking people in. Got the sheriff here. And we have, obviously, Mindy come up and talk in a deeper accent. And we realize, hey, Mindy's... One, she pretends to adjust her junk in public. We scroll up, and it's Mindy Kaling as a dude named Manny the Man. It gets worse. The sheriff, everybody's sort of believing her for a moment, then the sheriff says, this doesn't make any sense. You know, something's not quite right here. Not funny quite right, but more female-centric comedy where it's thoughtful, not right. I kid you not, that's a line. And to get out of it, Mindy decides to punch him in the nards because, hey, that's going to help her get in. And he's like, oh, only a guy would know that. You're good. You're a dude. You could go in. And then as he's getting up, Constance's mom's trying to punch him in the nards, showing the difference because now he's calling it assault. It continues because it ends up showing that Mindy's life's a whole lot more easier as a dude, so she thinks this is why they don't want to give up power. And we'll go on. Oh my God. So, go on. We get to the drop a puke where Mindy's going on it, and she spots the serial killer on the drop a puke. She gets all the way up and it's like, why is it going down? I just spot the serial killer. And it turns out Sam paid the guy to keep him up there a little longer because he's going to confess something to Gigi, because he's so sorry that he ignored her and he was being a bad boyfriend. He's going to ask her to please, very much, be his fog queen. Because he's now running for Fog King, and he wants her to be Fog Queen to make up for everything. It gets worse. We we get back down to the ground as the drop's finally coming down, where we see Glenn giving out money to please everybody vote for him, where he sees the flyers that Sam made, and he gets all mad because Sam wants to be Fog King. Get down to the ground, we have Mindy Kaling, and Constance notices Mindy Kaling and says, "My God, look at him." Then we see this, spooky serial killer. I'm only halfway through, I want this over already. Mindy tries to call the phone again, nobody's answering, picks up some food, starts eating it, and the popular girls, all of them notice her. And they're so impressed by her manliness and ability to unhinge her jaw and do all that stuff, where Olive's like, "Please tell me more, tell me how to unhinge my jaw because I want to join a sorority." It continues, because now everybody's coming on to her. She's all hot and bothered, everybody loves her. Yeah. We then cut to the dance floor, I guess, where Glenn confronts Sam on him wanting to be Fog King. Glenn's all upset because Sam wants to be it. They get interrupted by a dude saying, "Hey, you know what? We're on the dance floor." Sam says, "Yes, we'll have a dance-off." And he goes like, "No, we'll have a fight-off. It's like a dance-off, but with your fists." A fight. So, that's just what happens. The fight ensues. Gigi starts showing off that she's not quite into what's going on with Sam, but nobody cares. Cut back to Mindy, who's now coming out of the bathroom and saying, "Man, being a dude's cool. They don't even care."
Alright guys, that's going to be the stream for tonight. Thanks for joining if you did. And remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And stick around for more. Well, I might just get rid of this section of dirt over here before I fucking leave. But otherwise, this shit is coming along nicely. Alrighty, you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you again at some other point for some more content. So, stay tuned.